Welcome back to the monthly Ranton Podcast.
It's been, I think, about 6 months.
1 month. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. The last podcast we joked was going to be the first podcast of the apocalypse, and as it turned out, it was also it was the first podcast of the apocalypse.
As always, when there's a podcast, where to even begin?
So yeah, I mean, but this time especially, it's absolutely impossible.
We have really so much to talk about.
Yeah.
But before we talk about anything, let's make a beautiful announcement.
Yes. Okay. So first of all, since so much time has passed since the last podcast, I'm going to just quickly give everyone a little heads up. So I am Andi, Anton's brother, right? And I will take this opportunity shamelessly to plug my own channel. I used to stream on YouTube. Anton will surely put my channel link in the description. And if you enjoy the science segment at the end of the podcast that I usually do, you might want to check out my stream because I answer all kinds of science questions there while playing some Souls-like game or whatever. And I'd love to see you all there. Next.
But what's even more important?
So, why did I say I used to stream? Because currently, most of my time goes to another activity, which is being a daddy. 2 weeks ago, my daughter Valerie was born. And I've been in a kind of excited state since then.
She's so cute.
She's adorable, and
Do you think I can put a picture up while doing the podcast?
Absolutely,
like the picture I took?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Andi, I visited Andi recently, and he was sitting in his room, World of Warcraft on his PC, and Valerie just
here
sleeping on his chest. Here.
Like,
yes.
Yeah. So I've already. I mean, it's only been 2 weeks, right? But I've already went through the stages of being puked on, shit on, peed on.
Amazing.
It's so adorable, and everything is cool.
Yes. That is just amazing. Yeah. I remember the day that that Sophia and I got the message that she's born. I was sitting on my bed for like 2 hours. It's like one of those moments I think that I will never forget.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Certain things you don't expect, but they just hit you and you're like, wow.
There's actually another human.
Not like my brother
in the family
is a dad now.
Yeah. Oh God.
And for me, it's always like, I don't know, man. I don't feel like it was that long ago when we were kids hanging out just in China. And
honestly, I still don't feel like cracking dad jokes and shit. Like,
do you feel like some of your perspectives have already changed now that you're a dad?
No.
I heard sometimes when you're dad, things suddenly change. Your outlook is different on things. Like suddenly you're like, oh, I have responsibility now. I can't do this anymore. I can't be so self-centered.
Well, yes, but I still find that annoying. But you just have to deal, right? It's there's child's no mercy. That's one thing that you very quickly realize. There's no, I really don't feel like it at the moment. No. If the baby is like, then you better, you do. Yeah.
You have no choice. No choice, kind of. Yeah.
And whatever you were doing before, you stop that and you deal with the baby.
But she's healthy. She's
absolutely healthy. As far as the doctors could tell, everything's working. She has the usual baby belly pains, but nothing serious. Like once she does one poop, then everything is. And
now your wife is alone with her, and is she worried, or is it?
The podcast is like especially spicy today because my wife is now currently taking care of the baby alone, and honestly, how do people raise a kid alone?
Yeah,
that is.
It's insane.
It's insane. Like
even two, you're like stretched to your max.
Yes. Even two people barely have time for anything else.
Maybe that's not how the God intended it to be. Maybe relationships should be. I don't know.
I mean, you can always get help from not your partner. Okay, I guess, but still.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Kids merciless.
They only sleep like 3 hours in a row. They sleep a lot most of the time, right? But they don't sleep like 8 hours in a row.
Yeah, they sleep like 20 hours per day. In total, but never longer than 3 or 3.5 hours.
You always like sleep 3 hours, then awake for a little bit,
then
cry.
It goes from to what?
I know when you look at it, I don't know. It's crazy. Maybe I've always been a person who gets along very well with kids. Like I'm good with children.
Yeah.
But when you see
speaks to your viewer base.
when I see a kid, like when I saw this baby, it looks so boring, right? They're just sleeping, but when you can't stop looking away because you see it and you're like, there's so much growth happening.
Yes.
The brain is like exploding. It's like a supernova in the brain.
Yeah.
The neurons are connecting and making connections, and everything she sees, like they're learning so much.
When she's not sleeping, it's insane. Like you see her eyes wandering around. Everything is like, it's the first time she sees everything, right?
Yeah,
and she can barely even see at them still, and it's you notice how everything's
that
happening.
Is truly amazing. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. By the way, I have the podcast questions. I remember in this little hat here. 10. We're gonna pull 10. Yeah.
Nice,
I put all the Watermeloni questions. I put in there twice. But yeah, we got. I think these are.
You even made
30 papers.
Weighted probabilities.
Yes.
Nice.
Okay, but we're gonna leave this to the end.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the reason why I'm currently not streaming. But usually, let's see how it goes during the next few weeks, and then I intend to start streaming again. It's always on Sundays, and then once I find the time, slowly, even maybe a second day, and
definitely
so
check out the stream. It's on YouTube. Yeah,
I stream on YouTube,
and I also pop in sometimes and say hi. And I always see some interesting riddle on the screen. It's really fun. It's really fun. So you still do this, right? You put little riddles on the screen, like math riddles or science
the last
riddles?
few streams we didn't have the time, and we also didn't have any good riddles. But once my wife is also very supportive, and she picked out a few riddles, and once we have some good ones. We even have a Discord on which people can share their riddles.
And you can all join the Discord.
Yes, please. It's not like Anton where you have to pay money.
I know. It's but the riddles, do you put riddles that you personally already know, or are you trying to solve them together with everyone?
Both. I usually try to come off as very smart, so I try to solve the riddles in advance, but sometimes I don't, and then it gets very embarrassing, and that's also kind of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. What do we have prepared today?
So I wanted to talk about a few things like updates on the channel.
Yes.
Okay. How I usually like to kind of begin. Like the reasons for why there hasn't been a podcast in so long, and so on and so forth. Where to begin? I went through this several times in my head, how I'm going to talk about this on the podcast. It's like, there are these commentator YouTubers who they upload like a video almost every day, and they comment on something that's happening in their opinion.
Yeah. Muda.
For example, Mudahar. And I'm really friendly with Mudahar. He's an amazing guy, truly, and very down to earth. But it's like, I can't do that.
Uh-huh.
Not only can I not do that once a day, once a week, I can't even do that once a month. I don't have opinions on everything. Mm-hmm. And even when I do, it's a difference of having an opinion and then feeling like, wow, this opinion is so worth being wrapped up in a product that is then served to you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you can ask, what's the thing I care about the least in the world? Golf.
Know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
If we had a conversation about golf, sure, I would be like, yeah, this is cool, this is not cool. I can't make it. If Tiger Woods fucks and cheats on someone, or is suddenly, wow, he plays Overwatch and he did this, it's like, I can't have an opinion on. I don't care. And there are so many things happening, like even with PlayStation and this and PlayStation that, even a lot of gaming stuff. Like, sure, I talk about it with my friends, but I don't feel like it's worth talking about.
Isn't that a little bit the essence of these commentator channels?
Yeah.
They just put out what they think.
Yeah. And I think my problem also is the reason why, like I have a constant struggle of quality and quantity all the time. Mm-hmm. I want to review everything that comes out. I want to review everything. I want to review Paper Mario, Destroy All Humans. I still haven't touched these games because I want to review them. It's not going to happen. It can't happen.
Yeah.
But I can't do it because my reviews, I'm sorry, they're just not something that you can produce on a conveyor belt. It's impossible. Because the jokes, they don't fly from. It's not like a video like. Informative videos can usually be done in a conveyor belt style, like once a week, because it just takes a certain amount of research, and then you write a script and it's done. And I can write scripts, no problem, but jokes don't just come.
Yeah. And even in your quickie format that you used to do?
No. When I make a video, I have to be, it's so stupid to be such a perfectionist, but it just has to be right. It has to be correct. has to be everything perfect, and I can't let go of it. I hate when I can't do videos that I don't stand behind 100%.
Okay.
Like my video game reviewers are corrupt. Also took me a while to think about whether I should do this or not, because it's just a video of me talking.
You could say that was a commentator.
That was sort of a commentator thing, but that was something that I really thought about so much at that time, and talked with so many people about, that I feel like I have to. Someone has to just mention it.
Yeah.
Which we're also going to talk about more. But I'm sorry, I can't. We thought about doing the podcast once a month. I don't have it in me once a month. I don't feel like I have interesting things to say or something worth your time to come up with once a month.
I see.
And I just feel,
this is where, okay.
Yeah, sure. I could go on Kotaku and Polygon and whatever and write down the news.
Have you seen this?
Have you seen this and this? And then just scrap the bottom of the barrel of, I'm sure I can talk about something.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't feel this is good content.
Yeah. Which is weird, because we always say, man, we have so much to talk about this.
Yeah, but then
podcast.
It's good, right? Because you wait a few months, and then I have genuinely a lot of things I want to say. And also, but even with the podcast here, I'm having like more and more doubts with having the podcast at all. I know, shocker, but it's because when you're a small channel, you can just say things, and it's just, I always tell this to people who watch the video, but literally not much has changed for me, because I'm not in some sort of insider circle. I know a few YouTubers, but I don't get invited anywhere. No one reaches out to me, and I'm just a guy. But when you're small and you're just a guy, people believe it. But now I have 1 million subscribers, and then suddenly when I say something, it's not like, a guy has an opinion, right? It's, he made a statement.
Yeah, and he subconsciously wants his 1 million followers to listen to his statement.
Yeah, it's like he made a statement, and he put the statement out into the world as in a form of curated content. It's not. This is not a live stream, right? This is, if I say this, it's expected of me to responsibly platform, certain thoughts. And
it's horrible.
It's horrible, but it's also out of my hand.
Yeah,
it's just a fact of reality.
Yeah,
and I'm getting increasingly uncomfortable with it. There are certain things I want to talk about that, if I say them, it's like Ranton called out X.
Yeah,
and I don't want that.
Yeah. It's no longer. Oh, did you know that Anton said XYZ? So it's like Ranton. The official Ranton said X,
and it's no longer just talking, unfortunately. Because and I have two choices, right? I have two options. Either I am extremely always super careful with what I say, which I already am, and always have been to some extent, but or I just start drama, and drama is kind of stupid.
Lucrative.
It's lucrative, but the problem with drama is that most people who watch your content, most people who are watching right now, just normal people like us. Yeah. They don't even comment, they don't even like, they watch, they have fun, they listen to it while they're doing something, and that's cool. But then there's a small group of people who are these very combative people who then go to other channels and say stupid shit and harass people. Ooh. For example, when I did my Michael J. White video, I called him out pretty hard, but I was never insulting in any way. And then I go to the video that I responded to, and I look at the comments, and I see the most vile shit. And there's nothing I can do about it. Yeah. Even if I can even say, don't do that, people will do it.
We'll do it, yeah.
And I kind of don't want to.
But do you actually feel responsible, or is there actually? Is it not possible to rationalize that it is completely out of your hand? Therefore, it's not of your responsibility.
I mean, I don't believe it's out of my hand. It's. I do believe that content creators have a responsibility with the kind of content and the ideas that we talk about on our platform.
But like saying don't do it, it's all you can do, right?
But I mean, imagine I make a video that's super insulting and harassing to someone, and then in the end I just say, but don't go harass them. It's kind of hypocritical. They're gonna do it.
I see.
And then I prefer then I won't call anyone out anymore, because I know that there's a subset of people that are just extremely rude.
But is there not like a little bit too much self-censoring?
I don't know, man. It's just it's depressing to me when I saw the kind of shit that people say to Michael J. White. Like, it's a meme on Michael J. White, line of the round table. It's super funny. Yeah. That kind of stuff is funny. But then you also have the side of things that is not so funny, and I just don't want to be a part of that.
But isn't it just YouTube comments?
That's true. That's true too. But YouTube comments, they get to some people. Yeah. To some people, just because like it doesn't get to me doesn't mean it doesn't get to someone else. And also it's like I do want to talk about today more about the game reviewers are corrupt thing. And I want to talk about this video in particular with one certain YouTuber that I'm very disappointed in.
Okay.
But I can't do this because I kind of like that person, and it's, I don't know. I don't. Although,
to be fair, this was something you also wouldn't have done when you had like 10,000 subscribers.
No, but then we started the ACG. But the ACG thing was always kind of jokes.
Yeah, I mean, ACG, it's always a good thing. You can always target people that are bigger than you.
Yeah, but at this point, in terms of subscribers, the guys that I'm targeting is not bigger than me.
Yeah.
In terms of views, he probably is. But
it's the internet.
I don't know, man. With the podcast, I become increasingly uncomfortable with it.
Oh no!
Because I don't know what can I say that's not like statement. He said this, and if I say something wrong or stupid, I don't want to put that out into the world.
I have an idea. Yeah. I have a good idea to how to actually solve this. Do you know how Joe Rogan solves this on his podcast?
I don't think he solves it.
No, he always lets the guest say the controversial shit.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a whole nother issue, right? But
so whatever it is you want to say, just give me a script and I will put out the most ungodly garbage. And it's like, oh, did you see the guest on Anton's podcast? Man, he was quite something.
No, I do believe you're also responsible for what kind of people you platform. But I don't know. And I also want to talk about a little bit about Twomad, because Twomad.
Wait, he's the guy who made the one little skit for you, right?
The he's Canadian.
Yeah,
and he's the fat guy who's like, "Good night, girl. I see you tomorrow." You know that one? Yeah. He's kind of pretty really cool guy, I think. Yeah. And I just reached out to him one day. I reached out to him on Instagram, and then he was like, and I was talking to him like how he handles, because I watched his videos and some of his videos are so funny, but when I watch them, I feel like they're not. I feel like he's just turning on the camera and then doing stupid shit.
Yeah.
And like, how do you not
over-engineer?
Do you not feel like you have a lot of pressure and stuff? Because you seem like is nonchalant the right word? Like he just chills and does it. Yeah. And to my surprise, he was saying like, no, he also overthinks a lot. And
okay.
And then I realized, everyone is just a person. No matter how crazy you think the online personality is, they're just normal people. When you meet them in private and you go, it's just annoying. They're just normal. They want to talk normally. They have families. They're just chill, and they also obsess a lot about their content, a lot. And that really helped me kind of.
Yeah.
And he also gave me an advice that was, I think that shaped kind of the content that made an incredible boost in quality to my videos. He told me, and I've been told this many times, but I don't know why when he said it, I took it to heart. He said, learn After Effects.
Okay.
And I never use After Effects. My cousin always tried to make me learn it. I see After Effects and I hated it. I didn't understand anything. But then I got on Skillshare, not sponsored by the way, but I got on Skillshare. Made an account, and there was an After Effects class. They have a YouTube channel called Cinecom.net or something, Belgian guys. And he made an After Effects for beginners class. It's amazing. I did all 10 classes and now I can use After Effects. Not crazy shit, but there's so many things that I can do now that are so much easier in After Effects. And with the dynamic link on Premiere and After Effects, you can combine these two, and it's insane. Yeah, so this is basically all thanks to Twomad.
Okay.
I really believe my Last of Us 2 and my Desperados review are really another level in terms of quality.
The Last of Us 2, I gotta give you a little bit of a shout out there. I think that was one of your absolute greatest
and it's funny,
magnum opus.
Thank you. And it's crazy because I make I think with After Effects I save time, but when you get a new tool that saves you time, you actually don't save time.
No, exactly, yeah.
Because usually a review, if I really sit down, like if I start on Monday filming, I can have it done by Sunday evening. Like a review never takes, if I edit like 12, 13 hours a day, I can get it done in a week. But this review took everything like 2.5 weeks, not including writing, but it took me 2.5 weeks, because when you have things that shortcut other things, you make more of them.
Exactly.
So in the end, you're not saving time; you're working longer.
Yeah.
Even though certain things would have taken a certain cropping something would have taken me 3 hours on Premiere, but now it takes me 20 minutes on After Effects. But then I just do so many more of those effects
that you still spend 3 hours, right?
Yeah. And I end up just spending more time.
But I guess that's just a growing pains, right? You get better every video.
I think it's the same thing with the Ranton Remembers videos and all that stuff. It's like, I think I'm the kind of person who, it's not just about what do I say. For me, it's always, do I have a vision for this video that is beyond just what I am saying?
Yeah.
I'm the most motivated to do a video when I have a certain effect, something visual that I want to try.
Cool.
That's always the case with me. Like, I have an opinion on this game. Yeah, that's cool and all, but what do I have to offer visually and creatively that makes this video interesting for me to work on? The last one, Tony remembers the Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
I loved that video because I had this amazing visual effect of, remember the spikes coming out of the body?
Yeah.
And that effect, I was so obsessed with that effect that I was like, I need to make a video around that effect where I also kind of talk about this game.
That's awesome.
And now I'm not planning another one Tony remembers for now.
Yeah.
Because there's no visual effect idea right now. Once I have an idea for an amazing effect, then I'll do a video. Or when I find something amazing in somewhere else, I'm like, I have to put this in my review and try to change it and make it mine. And then I'm motivated to do a review. Like, games don't motivate me usually to I don't know. It's just, you know, I try to tell myself since I talked to Twomad, like, just take it more casually, but it's impossible to take your own advice because
with every subscriber you gain, it becomes more impossible in a sense.
Yeah, exactly. And also, you know, with the whole Patreon thing, like, of course, Patreon is the best stable income that I have. And that's you guys supporting, right? A subset of you guys supporting. And it's like, I offer these things, but I do feel bad because I say, you get to ask questions for a podcast, and it doesn't come for 6 months. That's a problem. And I don't like it. And then the longer I wait, the worse I feel. But the worse I also, if I don't want to do, I can't create something if I don't want to create it. And I am in contact right now with a marketing company, and I am thinking about doing sponsorships in videos for products that I use myself. Like, for example, the funny thing is I do want to do a Skillshare sponsorship because I use Skillshare, unironically. And it's a great platform to learn stuff. And then I'm thinking of, should I keep even Patreon or not? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, would you be opposed to just doing a questions roundup sit down?
Yeah, but I do predict of doing a complete overhaul of the sort of Patreon thing. I don't know,
because the Patreon questions are usually pretty cool.
Yeah,
they're a fun part of the podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, honestly, now that we live so close together, I have no problem with just coming over, right? Low effort, just sitting down, turn on the camera, and just rapid fire Patreon questions. I think that would be cool.
The thing is, I feel like I am struggling a little bit with like finding my place, finding my niche. I don't know how people see me.
Yeah,
I don't know how people how do they? Because everyone knows, like, for example, iDubbbz. Everyone knows he uploads once every few months. And that's okay. And then everyone knows other people upload like once a day. And that's also cool. It's just I don't know where I am, where people see me. And I always try to make as much as I can. But much as I can, but I can't. I can't.
I can only speak for myself, right? But to me, that actually doesn't matter, right? It's like when I look at my YouTube channels that I'm subscribed to, I don't think like, oh no, he hasn't uploaded in a while, it's time to unsubscribe, or I'm really disappointed. It's just you're one channel among many that people are subscribed to. I don't want to sound disrespectful, but that's and if you don't upload, then there's many other channels that upload, and it's okay. Like it's not like someone will sits in front of his PC and waits for Anton to upload, and if you don't, then he cries the entire day. Right? I hope at least.
You should see some of my DMs. Sometimes I'm like, okay.
And so I don't know, maybe that kind of takes the pressure off a little bit. Because it's not, you don't have to beat yourself up about what your viewers think, because you are one of the things that your viewers watch, and not the only thing.
It's so easy to say, like, no, don't beat yourself up, don't be so hard, but it's impossible.
What helps against depression? Have you tried not being sad?
No, I'm not depressed. But yes, I'm very happy to have created what I've created, and like in a weird way, it's reassuring to me that I know that as long as I put my everything into a video, I know that it will be good.
Yeah,
and that's
and
something
people are going to love it.
Yeah. What's funny, you know, the two Shaolin videos I've made, maybe let's talk about them, the Mortal Kombat one and the reacting to fake martial arts. I had both of these ideas a while back, like, I should react to fake martial arts and then do a video where I recreate all martial arts related cinematics in Mortal Kombat. And I was expecting the reaction video to be like, kind of a funny thing. It wasn't that much work. It was work, but that's not that much work. It's 2 days of work maybe. And I was expecting that to be medium well received, but in terms of how many people watch. But the Mortal Kombat one, I was like, this one, this one's gonna go viral. I think that was maybe the first time I ever did a video with the intention of like, I want this to go viral. And then I see the reaction video, it has like 7 million views.
It's insane, man.
And I don't understand it. And honestly, I also didn't really, it had like 0 impact on me.
Yeah.
My For Honor and my BBC video, both when they blew up, both I really felt it.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa. Oh my God, so many people are reaching out. It's insane.
Yeah.
But with that video, it was just nothing. I just saw the views, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. And it's just, I didn't give a shit.
I think, but that's due to the nature of the video though. It's like completely easy to get into, easy to consume content. Like you just put on the video, see that's funny, and then you turn it off and it's over, right? It's okay.
Yeah. And then the Mortal Kombat video is probably the best video that I've ever done. Like I've never been so proud of a video. And like I think it has 1 million views now, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But I've never been so proud of that video. But that video, the response, for example, was, although smaller, way more intense.
Yeah.
Maybe I was also following it a lot closer, right?
I mean, seeing it being
Ed Boon, the creator of Mortal Kombat, not the creator, the creative director, or who's in charge of the IP, basically. Yeah. Retweeted it, the Mortal Kombat Twitter account retweeted it.
Reddit, it went on Reddit.
And that was really amazing. Yeah. I felt really quite honored there. I was very, very proud of what happened. Also funny, the Desperados 3 review. The German developers retweeted my videos, or replied to my video post on Twitter, said, ganz schön mutig. Ganz schön mutig is like a joke in the video, which means like pretty brave. Or like, ganz schön mutig. They're cool guys. Very cool guys.
What are their studio called?
Me Productions.
Oh man,
I love video games so much.
Yeah,
I want to cover so many more games, but like if the jokes don't flow, they don't flow. You know, it's just the way it is. And I can't. Yeah, it's just. Sorry if I look too down. It's it's always a thing. It is what it is. Yeah. I really want to talk about the game reviewers are corrupt a little bit more.
Okay, sure, go right ahead. Yeah.
And now, right now I'm also thinking, should I name that person or not?
Here's a quick question. Do the people on your Discord know who you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe that's enough. Although I don't know who you're talking about, so oops.
I think I'm going to talk about them and then see what happens. I want to make it very clear that I don't intend to have any drama or personal hate directed at the person.
And can we say this in advance? If it turns out to turn into a
probably
shitstorm?
No one will care. Probably it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
It's going to be fine. I don't. This is really no drama intention.
Mm-hmm.
This is because that particular person, I was in touch with that person, and I find it, and I do think that he's kind of emblematic or exemplarisch for like I think a larger attitude among game reviewers on YouTube.
Okay.
So that person is, and I've been very friendly with him for a long time. I really like the guy. I like his videos too, but I was really kind of shocked at his response to the whole situation, because my video, I'm right. I'm right 1,000%. It's insane to me how the point of a reviewer is to be the person between consumer and product that are supposed to tell you is the product. These are essentially like almost consumer protection institutions, reviewers. That's what we are. And the government puts in place consumer protection laws. And one of these consumer protection laws, and I think in almost every first world country, is if you get products for free or sponsored, you have to declare it. There's no question about it. There's no argument against it. This should be in every reasonable person's head.
Yeah.
And also, then if you declare it, you should ask yourself, are you even a reviewer then? That's another question. First, the legal question is, you have to declare it if you get a product for free and then you talk about that product. You are a marketing expense for that company. Your content is sponsored. That's not opinion.
Yeah.
And then the question is, as a reviewer, should you even do that?
Mm-hmm.
I think no.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Simple as that. Sometimes I make jokes on my Twitter about like, oh, I don't get review copies. And then some people at companies like, oh, please give my boy Ranton a review copy. I'm never going to take a review copy. I do this as a joke. If I get a review copy, I'm going to give the code to, I don't know, you or someone on my Discord. I can't do it.
Please give Anton lots of review copies.
And before I made the video, I was in the DMs with, he asked me to not publish the DMs. I won't ever publish DMs. Don't worry.
That's the biggest snitch move.
You never do that.
Never do that, yeah.
But in essence, his opinion on this is that it's okay. That he thinks, he was like, oh, what's the alternative? What else can we do? And it's like, in my video, I actually talk about what could be the alternative. That if you say, if you reach a certain threshold of subscribers, that you have to get a review copy. That it's not up to companies anymore to decide, we're going to give review copies to them, because we see that they blacklist people, right? Certain people don't get review copies because their reviews are harshly worst, hardly worst, harshly worded. I believe if you are a reviewer, you can take review copies. And for example, what's funny, ACG says my videos are not 2 minutes long or filled with sponsored bullcrap, and he gets review copies most of the time. I don't know how the laws are in the States, but in Germany he'd be in a lot of trouble because that is sponsored bullcrap. Yes. Not only you're explicitly now saying that your video is not sponsored when it's sponsored.
That would be.
I get how he's intending it.
Extra spicy.
He's intending it like there's no sponsored third-party product in that. Like there's no another product.
Yeah.
But his review, but the game is the product that's being sponsored because he gets a review copy. Yeah. And I just think it's unfair. It's not right. It's unjust, and it shouldn't happen. But nothing's gonna change, of course. And I'm just really disappointed that someone like, when you follow on Twitter, he's very politically active also, which is totally fine. But his political leanings, without making a political statement, I'm not saying I agree or disagree, but he leans more on the left side, and the sort of center left side is more like, is the exact side that should be pro consumer protection stuff, right? And then he's arguing against consumer protection laws.
Well, you always wish the best to people who have until they have more than you.
Yeah, it's so disappointing. It's very, and he also mentioned my video very briefly in a video that he did, and his response to my video was, I don't like the title.
Oh,
it's like that's how far you're gonna engage with my video.
That's a big argument. I guess you got debunked there, Anton.
I was quite very disappointed to see that, very disillusioned, and I also kind of, I guess, like mutually sort of cut the cord, not in any disrespectful way, but we were so at odds there.
Yeah. I guess there's nothing left to say then.
Yeah,
right?
We're so at odds on this point, and I'm so shocked that someone with integrity, that seemed to have integrity like him, would be on that side of the argument, you know. But I guess he's playing the game, playing the corrupt game.
For me personally, I guess I also think that as long as everything is transparent, I have no yes, you could rationalize that it's a fundamental conflict of interest, but as long as it's being communicated, I think everything is okay.
But
right?
How is it
if you say like, here, this developer has given me the game for free, I will now provide my opinion on the game. But you're already subconsciously impacted by the fact that you were given the game for free, whether you even realize it or not. Yeah, but so,
like, there's a reason why governments put these laws in place, because they know that everyone can say that. Everyone can be like, as long as you're transparent, it's fine. I got the game for free, but I'm going to give you my unbiased opinion. Amazing game.
You're right. It's okay. Maybe that's just a little bit personally for me, because I don't value the opinion of a reviewer that much, right? Maybe that's actually the key to it all. Like the opinion of a reviewer or a critic or whatever should never actually.
But it's not only the opinion. It's also about name recognition. If a company gives out 1,000 review copies, that's just to get reviews to talk about and for the average consumer, for that
like
game title to pop up in their recommendations, for them to just see it all the time.
Yeah. But
it's already a successful business.
Yeah, but that's okay, no?
Yeah, but then it's already. But then, if that's okay, then all these sponsored videos have to be properly declared as such. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Right. I mean,
and I just believe they're not reviews. Then they're not reviews. If your video is if you get because the thing is that we don't know. We don't know. You can say 1,000 times. You can say, I've given, the argument I always see is, I've given bad reviews before and I've still gotten review copies. Irrelevant. Why don't you make a child sex joke in the next video and then we'll see if you still get a review copy. It impacts what you can, what you can say is influenced. Of course, if you're super diplomatic and constantly say, that's just my opinion, they're still going to be fine. If your video gets 5 million views, it's good for the company to get their name out. But if you then in your video make the kind of jokes I'm doing, and of course, you're going to, like AngryJoe is blacklisted by a lot because he's very emotional and he goes in very hard. You know, and he does get blacklisted by most.
Really? Isn't it?
AngryJoe barely gets any review copies.
But doesn't that kind of speak against the argument that they don't that they only want exposure for their product?
If they want mostly exposure, but they don't care about the exposure if your negative opinion is worded in a civil way. Like if you give a bad review to a game and it's civil, then they're most likely not going to care if it has a lot of views.
But if someone with like real reach says like, don't buy this game, boycott this component, I understand. I understand.
Yeah. And AngryJoe would always go that far.
Okay.
It's like you have a business relationship with the company when you get a free game. Yeah. That's a business relationship. And it's an appropriate relationship to have as a reviewer.
So does it mean you now have even more respect for AngryJoe?
I've another thing that, you know what, I'll just do it. Oh, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of stopped watching AngryJoe's content.
Okay.
I really love him.
Yeah.
AngryJoe, I think the gaming world is very lucky to have someone like him. Why? Because that guy has been doing gaming content for over 10 years, and I believe he's always stayed so real. He's always been real.
10 years.
He never sold. He never sold out. He's always. You can guarantee, like you can be sure that he's saying what he thinks. And I believe that AngryJoe is really an asset to the gaming community. I just stopped watching him because I believe the quality of his videos, and I've noticed this for a few years, is just not good. The editing is just bad.
The editing? Okay.
The editing of his videos is bad. It's just really bad. And I can't watch it anymore.
Okay.
For example, there's something called a lazy cut. I call it like a lazy cut. It's when you have a transition of a scene into another scene, and there's one frame that is still visible. So suddenly on screen you see like a quick, like a frame pop up.
Yeah.
Because you forgot to you forgot to edit it correctly, the ends of the sequences. And I saw that in his video so many times, and that's like, for me, that's such a red flag. Like having a lazy frame still in your video, I see that, I'm like, disgusting.
What?
No, like this sort of editing stuff is really disgusting to me. Like,
okay. Oh my God.
And not only that, also when a sentence is finished and then the camera lingers on too long before the cut happens.
Yeah.
Disgusting. I can't see that. I can't see it.
Oh my God. I never thought that you would become such an editing nut.
His videos are so badly edited, and like the color, like even my videos are amateur.
Yeah.
Amateur videos, right? But there's just certain things that I can't see it if they are in there. For example, there's also one thing I hate. It's the channel Girlfriend Reviews, which I talked a little bit. It's super nice, and I think their Last of Us video was excellent. Super cool people, I think. But they do something that also Skill Up does a lot, and AngryJoe did it also for a while, is you take movie scenes, and then you put like icons on the characters in the movie scenes, and then you just let the movie scene run out. Like you have the Office scene, you just put me on the Office character, and then EA Games another character, and then the scene. I hate that shit.
What, Anton?
Because it's so lazy. First of all, I don't know if that shit is fair use, because you're literally just taking an almost unedited movie scene and putting fucking names on it. Like, it's so minimal effort that I don't know if this is fair use, but that's another question. But it just pisses me off because it's so lazy. There's nothing wrong with taking movie scenes, but change them, or like make them shorter. Like I just hate this shit.
No,
like, I hate
no.
that so much.
Oh my god!
For example,
no.
I think Skill Up used not Skill Up, like Layman Gaming. He and his brother also have another channel. I don't know if they still do that, but they take Marvel movie scenes and they sometimes like 50 seconds long, and they just put different game companies on the different characters,
and then they get
and
hit
it just
by
runs
Thanos,
out, and I'm just watching this. I hate this shit so much.
What?
Like, this is not funny. It's not funny, and it's lazy editing.
Okay. That's an opinion, Anton.
Yeah, of course.
Because I personally think that you're a little bit too high on the it's low effort, therefore it's bad.
Yeah.
Because even if it's low effort, I find that shit hilarious. But okay, I understand.
I think if I didn't edit, I would still feel the same way.
Yeah.
That's probably just an editing thing.
Yeah.
Because when I take a movie scene, I try to either recreate it myself, edit myself into the movie scene, or change a lot of things in it, or just make it very brief, super quick.
It's so funny seeing the guy who's like, the editing is not okay, and then you have this one scene in The Last of Us review with the fissure opening up, and you're like,
that's my favorite scene in the whole video.
The sound effect. Oh god.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, well, I guess that's
just.
your,
I think that's just an editing thing.
That's your Anspruch. What's it called?
There's no good word in English for Anspruch.
Anspruch. Yeah,
Demand, standard.
Yeah, that's like the standard you hold yourself up to, right?
Yeah. But it's funny. I can watch videos that are not. I don't have. When I watch a video, I don't need it to be like super edited, like Dr. Mike, or I have no problem with videos that are like just talking heads, them just saying things, and that doesn't have to be a lot of editing. Like when I do my Shaolin videos, where I sit and I explain something, I always try to hold myself back because I know that these videos should be a bit more minimalistic and calm and stuff like that. But if you make funny edits and then it's lazy, I hate it.
Okay.
And and the AngryJoe, I can't watch it anymore. Yeah. And also, this is up to him, yeah, totally. But his sponsor, have you seen some of his videos recently?
I personally, I only watched. You're the only gaming channel I watch.
Yeah.
So
he has a Patreon, which is super cool. There's nothing wrong with having a Patreon. There's also nothing wrong with doing sponsorships. Yeah. But his videos start with sometimes 5 minutes of sponsorships. Huh? That's a bit extreme. And sure, you can just click and skip, but that's a bit extreme. And just there are a lot of things that coming together with AngryJoe where I'm like, AngryJoe, I love you. I love you, man. I love you forever. I know you're a real motherfucker. And you've supported me when my channel was small and you had no reason to. And I still want to be friendly with him. But it's just, I've just grown out of that content.
Okay.
And
nice. I mean, I'm also glad to hear that's not like, AngryJoe,
no.
real talk. No. It's just, you've said it perfectly. You've grown out of that content.
And I think the reason why I don't watch is literally just because I'm editing.
Yeah.
If I wasn't editing.
That's kind of a sad reason, but you can't help it.
Yeah. Ah, man.
Funny. Good.
And same thing with streams. I always try to get more into streaming. And like you really, it was a surprise to you, right? Yeah. How much you're enjoying it. Because I remember
so was that last podcast where I said,
I think it was.
I thought about streaming because you kind of went ahead with a good example, right? Your streams were hilarious. Yeah, it's a recording. And I thought, I'm playing so many video games. So much of my time goes into them. Would it not be possible to stream? But I've always rationalized that the way I play games is just not entertaining. Right? I'm not that completely autistic. Oh my god! Yeah, I'm not ninja. Okay. Yeah. What the fuck did you say to me, you little shit? Until and I always thought that no one would watch it. But you kind of, like, you told me that you were kind of thinking the same, right? Why would you stream something? And then you just did it, and then you saw what happened. And then I also thought, okay, what do I have to lose? Yeah. And then I tried, and since then it has been so much fun. And I've been streaming 3 times a week in the high time, and I love it. Streaming
That's really nice.
Streaming is. It's given me, like, I play games differently when I stream. That's unavoidable. Everyone does it. And I think personally I lose some of the experience that I usually have when I play a game. I lose some of that. I lose some of the immersion and stuff. But what I gain from interacting with chat and having like hilarious discussions is so much more that I currently right now I know it sounds extreme, but I currently never want to give it up.
Yeah. Nice. Very nice. Do you consume streams of other people?
Very rarely. Because I personally I'm just not a stream watcher.
But you were in Germany when the whole streaming thing became big. I don't know how that passed you by. Because when I was in China, right, this whole stuff became big and it just passed me by, and I found myself when I came back into the streaming world and I was like, what is this shit? Why are people watching this garbage? But you were here when streaming became big, when Twitch got out, and why did you not?
But I since I'm not a stream watcher, right? I also thought that why are people?
But that's why I'm wondering, right? Because before Twitch was a thing, no one was a stream watcher. Why didn't you get into this? Because everyone sort of.
I don't know. I personally I still don't see the point of watching a stream. I don't want to shoot myself in the foot here, but I'm just personally not a stream watcher. The only streams I watch are like public broadcasts of tournaments, esports and stuff. And I don't know. I don't know. I answer to no one. Okay, I don't need inspiration from anyone, and that's why
I think that's the reason why I really struggle a lot with streams. Yeah. I tell myself I'm gonna stream every day.
Yeah,
and I don't stream. It's because I just have trouble with the content, and it just doesn't feel. I don't know. It's just so stupid.
It's not edited.
I overthink everything. I overthink everything. I think the problem is because I don't consume streams either.
Yeah,
it's hard for me to know what value is it that people are looking for.
Yeah,
and with YouTube videos, I've been watching YouTube videos since YouTube existed. I know what a finished produced content, a piece of content is supposed to look and feel like, because I look for content too, so I know what I have to produce.
Okay,
but with streaming, I don't know what value it is people seek, and then I find it hard to deliver that value.
Okay. Well, I have an advantage there is that I don't give a fuck. I
tell myself every day I want to stream more.
Yeah,
but I can't do it.
It's beautiful, man. And you got quite a bit of a viewer base. Like whenever you stream, it's
I think 100.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I think
so.
so.
Your last stream there was like 300 people watching.
I think when the new Hitman game comes out, I'll stream on the main channel a couple of levels again with Sophia.
Okay.
That was really fun. Okay. I love that. Because then I think maybe it's, you know, when I stream on my second channel, I'm more calm because it's not so many people. But when I stream on my main channel, every time I have a headache after.
It's like so much stress.
I think maybe that's entertaining. Maybe that's what people want to see, because when I see when I see over 500, 1,000 people watch,
it's like, maybe they're all just tuning in to see you have a mental breakdown.
I think it was like 2,000 people or something watching. That's really scary, I think, to me.
Wait, 2,000?
Yeah, when I did the Hitman streams, it was about 2,000, 2,500 people watching. It was on my main channel. Yeah, and it's like, it makes me very nervous.
Okay, that's actually big numbers. Yeah. Wow. Okay, I see.
You know, I want to talk about something else about my Discord. I always talk about my Discord, but don't worry, it's not gonna be like just inside joke stuff. But like, so when people join the Discord, it's like that. I can instantly tell if it's gonna be a person that's gonna fit in or not fit in. You know, there's been a time before, the Discord has existed now for like 2.5 years or something, and there's been a time where I try to be more accommodating to everyone, but this has sort of changed because the Discord has turned into something quite interesting, where it's literally now a group of friends. And if another person comes into a group of friends, this group of friends is not going to tolerate every kind of person.
Yes.
Not tolerate. It's not every kind of person is going to fit into that group, and that's not even a mistake.
Yeah.
That's just some people aren't compatible.
Yeah, it's fact.
And I try to be more accommodating, but past half year, I would almost say I don't care much anymore.
So exhausting.
I don't care much anymore. And there's been like no drama on my Discord for a long time, and I just
boring
because my Discord is also heavily moderated, but in a good way, right?
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Okay. It's heavily moderated, but moderators don't do anything. It's both. Like the rules are just very strict, kind of.
I see.
But there's no moderation really necessary. If you break the rules, I'll ban you. Easy. Okay. And it's like some people, they join, like Wheezy, for example, they join and they're instantly fucking Man, I could leave the Discord. People would stay for Wheezy. Like, he's so cool. And then there are people who join who can't seem to find their like. When someone joins and they treat me differently, I don't like that instantly. The best people are the ones who just treat you like a normal person, and not the ones who like constantly comment on what you do and shit like that. It's weird.
Okay.
And some people just fit in, and some people don't. And there's a Patreon exit survey thing that's anonymous. When people leave the Patreon, when they stop being patrons, they can tell you why they stopped.
Ooh,
and when I want to be really cock and ball torture myself, I look at that and see like the angry messages I get.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's normal. And sometimes you have like, man, I didn't expect Ranton to be such an asshole. And then I think about that, and there's actually a good way for me to find out who that was. I'm not gonna say how, but Patreon isn't as smart as you think.
I will
because
find
you can see.
I will kill you.
The good thing is you can see when someone stopped being a patron, but then the exit survey is like a different tab. They think that's anonymous. I can usually tell who that was. Okay. But and then I think about it, I'm like, how do they think I behave? How do you think I am? I don't know. It's just like when I'm hanging out with a group of friends, we shit talk.
Yeah.
We shit talk a lot.
Yeah.
And people get roasted when they join.
Yeah.
I guess some people, they just think like, oh, I'm going to join this Shaolin monk server and
I will be enlightened.
It's going to be Zen and he's going to be all...
Although I gotta admit, your cock and ball torture voice chat channel is really cock and ball torture. Oh my God, I cannot be there more than 5 minutes until I feel nauseous.
Yeah,
it's too much.
I get it.
It's too much.
Sometimes it is. But man, I want to give a quick shout out to all the new people on the Discord who have become like really... No, I shouldn't do that because then I forget someone and then it's bad.
Yeah.
I mentioned Wheezy. He's from Birmingham actually.
And he's a good guy.
What?
He's a good guy.
That's a good guy.
Good guy.
Good guy. Nah, he's from Birmingham. Shout out to Wheezy from Birmingham.
Okay.
Birmingham.
Riding on that, I have a Discord too, and it's still very small, right? I don't know how many members are on your Discord. 600 or something?
No. 350?
350. Oh, really? Because my Discord, I think we just recently cracked like 80 people or something, and it's still very manageable.
But you're going to have a big boom of people now that you shouted it out.
Maybe, right? I intend to keep everything.
Do you have moderation on your server?
Yes.
You have moderators also?
Yes. I have moderators. Spoody? Yeah. Big shout out to you. You're is one of them, Steckdois, for example. And
good.
Tom, you know Tom, right? The Mr. Cringe from the hotel. He actually created the Discord, and he has the nuclear button. So if I do anything that he doesn't like, he can delete the Discord.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
I don't know. Is it?
That's not a good idea.
Rationally thinking, it's not a good idea, but
that's not a good idea.
What can I do?
He created... Okay, all right.
You know, I'm such a boomer. I don't understand Discord. I could never create.
He has the nuclear button. Yikes. I don't think that's a good idea. But
so I'm being heavily suppressed in Discord.
It's not a good idea to have anyone have the buttons except for you.
No, but I understand what you mean, and the funny experience I've made, and I'm really interested to see if this is a personal difference between us or if this is actually just a size difference between the Discords. Is I fucking love when people join and they're like, oh my God, Andi, I cannot wait to talk to you.
I think that I can explain to you what the difference here is. Wait, so when people join your Discord and you're like in voice chat with other people already, someone new joins and they're like, wow, Andi, so nice to meet you, blah blah. Yeah. How did the other people react? Is nothing? Okay, then I will explain to you what happens on my Discord.
Okay.
I'm in cock and ball torture with 11 other people. Yeah. If a new person joins and like, wow, so nice to meet you, they immediately get destroyed by everyone else in that server.
Oh my, but why?
And I feel bad every time because they're like, wow, this guy still likes Ranton, must be a new fan. Like I get just roasted the fuck out.
Oh my God.
If a new guy joins my Discord and joins VC and is nice to me, like, wow, so nice to meet you, wow, they get destroyed.
Oh my God. Anton's Discord seems to be the most toxic place on the internet.
It's because a lot of us are really... I think it's really because a lot of us have become so close.
Yeah.
Like so many people have already met up IRL. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. We're so close that... But the thing is, sometimes I have to remind certain people, like it has become a problem sometimes.
Yeah.
And then I have to remind people like, I get why you're behaving like that, but please don't forget that sometimes when new people join, they don't know when you're kidding. They don't know you yet. And this is hard to keep in mind, but I have to remind them sometimes. But I think that's why people...
Yeah. Now
when a new person joins, I'm always praying to God, please don't say, oh, it's so nice to meet you, Anton. Please don't say it, just for your sake. You're going to get this.
Oh, that's so mean, man. Your Discord is horrible.
I think what's good is we have this introductions channel where people just write a little bit about themselves, and it's always nice. Yeah. So I know who they are.
And now I understand the angry Discord, the Patreon exit messages. Like, I understand now, all right?
I get it too. I get it too. So
oh my God.
I think, I feel like a really cool side effect of my Discord server for some people, because whether I like to admit it or not, I'm somewhat a celebrity, like internet personality, and most people don't know a person like that, right? Most people, they don't know a person with 1 million subscribers on YouTube.
Okay,
and then they probably their whole life they have this separation between the normal people. I'm not saying this is right, yeah. I'm just saying this is how I perceive it. That a lot of people they have normal people, and then you have the people who are quote unquote famous,
who made it.
Yeah, who made it. Yeah. They're like so different. They made it. And when they cross over that line, it's like, oh, so amazing. Suddenly I can talk to this person. Yeah. And what I kind of hope for is that the people on the server who have become very active, and also some very close to me, that this has sort of disillusioned them to what online personalities are. Because also with me having 1 million subs, I realized every online famous person you see, they're just a person. There's nothing. There's just people.
Even Jake Paul.
You think you watch Twomad videos? Like, this is not a punch at Twomad. I love Twomad. He's awesome. I'm really friendly with him. But even Twomad, you see his crazy videos. He's just a chill guy. If you saw him on the street and you went like, he'd probably be like, just leave me alone. He's chill. And we're all like chill.
Yeah. Even Jake Paul?
Yeah, of course. And if Jake Paul was sitting here, we could just have a normal conversation.
Yeah, probably.
He's telling us about his parents and what's happening.
When the cameras are off, people are just people.
Yeah. And I hope that the people on my server who've been there for a long time have also become kind of disillusioned. You can be a fan of someone, but just don't forget when you meet. Isn't that this expression? Never meet your idols.
Yeah.
Or how does it go? Never meet your. Is it just called that?
Yeah. Or genius is something that's best observed from afar, or something.
Maybe.
Like, something like that. Right?
And I think that's not true, because you should meet your idols, because then you realize they're just like you.
Yeah.
Or even if
maybe that's something you don't want to realize.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. That there's nothing that special about them. They're just people. Yeah.
True.
Like, even when I see like the Kanye West was on Joe Rogan podcast recently, I could only take about 15 minutes because the guy just talks shit.
Yeah.
But it's like, he's just a guy. Kanye West is just a guy. They're rich and they're out of touch, but they're just people, man. They're just people.
Yeah.
Everyone, all of them, they're just people.
But isn't being rich and out of touch actually, does that no longer qualifies you as the normal guy? Right? Doesn't it actually, can it not reach a point where you actually no longer, even the content creator himself believes that he's something?
I mean, Kanye West, sure. I mean, the guy believes that God talks to him. So he's the guy has gone down the
drain.
Yeah. But maybe so that in that case, maybe Kanye West is a bad example. Yeah, true.
Because I personally, for 99.9%, you're right. But there's like the top 0.01% who are so rich.
You mean like Hollywood actors that level?
Yeah, but
I've met once on a movie set Christian Bale.
Yeah.
And we've talked a little bit.
Yeah.
So I was, before he came out, I was like 15. I was super nervous. Yeah, like, wow, I get to meet Christian Bale. Yeah. Then he came out of his little makeup room there. It was the night in China, and a movie set. He came out and we talked for 10 minutes. It's just the most normal person. And then and that was like the best thing I could have seen.
Yeah.
Like just normal person. I'm like, wow, Christian Bale is just a guy, and that's when I kind of also stopped thinking about him.
Yeah.
Because he's doing his thing.
Yeah.
That's his job. Yeah. And he's here doing a job, and then he's going home to his family. And
I mean, yeah, you are right, but I still think that there is a real possibility for the creator himself to actually believe his followers have a inflated view of him, right? And in general,
only if they don't become that close to him. Once your followers become actually close to you, they'll stop having that inflated view because they know.
Okay, true. Yeah, but once you reach a certain number of followers, it's no longer possible to come close to the person. So they have that inflated view of him, and it in my opinion, it is actually possible for the creator to then adapt or start believing that he's actually the inflated persona and no longer the normal person.
Yeah, to kind of lift up, kind of.
So he starts to believe the image that his viewers give him, which from the beginning was not real, right? And then I think you leave the area where people are just normal people. Right?
Yeah. I think the funny thing is you're talking about like staying grounded, and I feel like the things that keep me grounded literally is one of the things that keep me grounded the most is our mom, because she shit talks me every day, and
that's her thing since birth.
And kind of sounds funny, but the people on this Discord, because they treat me no different, the good ones, and that just keeps me on the ground, and that's very important, and that's good.
Presumptuous of you to think that you would have anything to not be grounded by, but
no, but it is important to have people not treat you. Special not the right word, because every human being is special. But just not treat you like wow. I'm thinking now, if like for example, I have people that I really look up to. For example, one of my greatest comedic influences, Kenny from Kenny vs. Penny. I wonder sometimes how I would behave if I met him. Because I've also had these moments, right, when I get a message from someone back and then I'm like, whoa, he replied. And isn't that also me kind of idealizing?
True, yeah. Although just replying to someone
that can mean a lot. Sometimes I get DMs and I reply and the people are like, wow, you responded, amazing. And although that doesn't annoy me, I'm also like, oh, he idealizes me, and that's not something.
Well, no, but that's just a rational thing, right?
Because the likelihood is small.
Yeah, you have little time.
Yeah, but
I guess.
I wonder if I met Kenny, if I could keep it together and just be chill.
If you keep the drool out of you.
Or like John Lajoie. Why are all the best comedians Canadians? I don't know. It is what it is. I think let's talk a little bit about video games.
Okay, good.
I want to talk about, I think people don't know your thoughts on The Last of Us 2.
Okay.
So here's the thing. Last of Us 2, very controversial. I think at this point it has cooled down a bit. The response to my video was very positive.
Okay.
I'm very happy. But when The Last of Us thing was very big, I barely consumed, and I didn't see any leak. I didn't consume any Last of Us hate content.
Me neither.
That's why I don't know if people want us to talk about it, because like they've consumed so much of that content already that they kind of moved past The Last of Us. But for us, for me at least, it's still very up to date.
Yeah.
Because I never consumed any podcast about The Last of Us. I didn't consume any of the hate content about it. I didn't see a leak.
Well, I think what this opportunity gives us, or this podcast here gives us the opportunity to kind of look back a little bit on it. Now that it has, as you said, cooled down a little bit, people can also, like, no one's ever going to admit it, but people can reflect a little bit and say, oh, okay, maybe it was just a game.
There's one thing that I forgot to say in my video, and it's that if you have heard about the story and you hate it and you hate everything about it and you hate what it represents, or whatever, as much as I disagree with that, but you'll enjoy stealth games, just do yourself the favor, skip all the cutscenes then. Please play it just for the stealth.
Okay.
In my eyes, I've just recently replayed it on Grounded Plus.
The hardest difficulty. The hardest difficulty, yeah.
Replayed the whole game.
Yeah.
This is how it's meant to be played.
It's an excellent game.
Yeah, I enjoyed it so. Man, I love when I replay a game and I think back to my review and I'm like, bro, my rating is so on point. Like I replayed it on Grounded Plus and it's so much fun. It's like the perfect level of difficulty. You're never stuck on one moment like fucking forever. The only one scene is where you wait for the ambulance when the two scars leave this building and you're in the restaurant, you have to defend against waves until they come back with the ambulance through the wall and they save you. Do you remember that part? As Abby, the boy and the girl, and you save them, and then they leave, and you think, well, they ditched me, and then you're in the restaurant, and you get waves of enemies.
Okay.
That is the hardest part in the game.
It's funny that in the lower difficulties, that's actually just you don't actually remember it
even
much.
Even on normal, that took me a while.
Okay.
But on Grounded, that was ridiculous. But I did it, and man, the stealth in this game is beyond insane. And I saw one really stupid comment of a guy saying like, wow, since when is being able to crawl on the ground an amazing mechanic? 2020, everyone. I'm like, you fucking retard. This is the dumbest shit. It's not the fact that you can crawl is not amazing. It's about how crawling is implemented in that game. If you remove the option to crawl out of Metal Gear Solid 5, do you not think that would be a fundamental change to the fabric of the entire gameplay? Crawling, if the gameplay is built around that mechanic as well, it makes a massive difference. You can add crawling into Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, which is one of the best stealth games ever, and it wouldn't add much because the maps are not built around crawling. There's no benefit to crawling, and wouldn't change much.
Add crawling to Doom. Good job.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do. Yeah. For example, like these small things can be massive game changers. For example, the Mafia 3 game. There's no jump button in that game.
Okay.
And you can sometimes contextually climb on something. If you go to that and you press a button. Yeah. Contextual, right? Okay. GTA has jumping, and he automatically climbs when he jumps against the ledge. These two, they look small, but tell the developers of Mafia 3, just add a jump button. They will tell you this will take 3 months to implement.
We have to re-engineer the game.
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding. I've talked to developers. Yeah. Just adding a button, then the character goes up, that's easy. But implementing jump in a way that interacts with the world, it's insane. This stuff is difficult. And the crawling in The Last of Us 2 has elevated the stealth in that game to a Metal Gear Solid 5 level, maybe even better because the AI is better, that I've rarely ever enjoyed stealth as much as in that game. And crawling makes a massive, massive difference. Massive. That's why crawling itself is not I'm not praising it as an amazing invention. Yeah. Who gives a shit? You can crawl. Yeah. You've been able to crawl in games since 25 years. But how it's been put into the game and how the gameplay is built around that mechanic.
Yeah. Like the longer I think about The Last of Us 2 gameplay, right? Let's keep it at the gameplay for now. The more I realize how unterschwellig, like
subtle,
subtly good it is, right? How subtly deep it is, especially because yes, the stealth with the crawling and everything is like amazing, but the game actually also feels correct to play if you go full ratatatata.
Absolutely.
Yeah? And for a game to actually accomplish this is incredibly hard.
What I've noticed when I've replayed it is that most games, stealth games, they always also allow an action option, but these two are like almost separate features.
Yes.
But in Last of Us, it's not the case.
No, exactly.
In Last of Us, the action and the stealth are almost one. Yeah. Because relocating in that game is so satisfying. When they shoot at you, you run around the corner and you lie down, they don't know where you are anymore. Yeah. They know that you're in that area and they come and they look for you.
Exactly.
And they're smart as fuck.
Yeah, it's not like they're stupid, like, it's out of sight, I forgot that she existed.
Yeah,
It's like, she was there the last time I saw her.
And also the way they search for you, they grab underneath things, they grab you and shit like that. And also the way they
encircle you with
the way they move is also not normal.
Yeah.
They turn around like this.
Yeah.
It's
You're
really next level.
Up, and then in the last moment they turn around.
What's also fucked, what the game also does sometimes is when you crawl and you think no one sees me, suddenly there's a guy grabbing you from behind and kills you. It's like, what the fuck? And they sneak up to you.
Yeah. In Soviet Russia.
They sneak up and that game is truly elevated that to a next level. Really amazing job. And what I noticed, for example, when I played it for the first time, I would almost say I enjoyed them equally, Ellie's and Abby's part, but Abby's part stayed more in my head because her levels are more unique.
Thank you.
But now I'm gonna hear my TED Talk.
Yeah.
So Abby has more highlights. Abby's, they're both about equal in size, right? They both take you about 10 hours to play through. They're almost 2 games. But Abby's campaign has more highlights that stick with you. Visual highlights.
Yeah. More locations that
are super unique, man. That skyscraper
and that changed the gameplay a little bit.
Yeah. But I think I enjoyed the gameplay of Ellie more. I enjoy Ellie's arsenal. Her loadout was a lot more enjoyable for me than Abby's. Abby has the flamethrower, a pistol, then a pistol with an aim thing down the side. I didn't enjoy her loadout, and I also think that her gameplay segments, I don't think she was as fun to play as Ellie. For example, as Abby, a stealth kill takes forever, and you can only stealth kill clickers if you have a shiv. Like, she's very much underpowered in stealth compared to Ellie. She's definitely more action-oriented.
Yes, yeah. Okay.
And also, I think her levels are not... Yeah, they're just not built around that stealth structure as much. Whereas Ellie is more about that Seattle stuff.
Yeah.
Levels are more samey, right? That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
She lacks highlights.
That was my problem.
She lacks highlights. But I found her gameplay just more fun.
Yeah. But she has that one office building where you first meet the stalker enemies, that was
Oh,
godlike. That
When
was godlike.
dude, it's so scary.
Because like, that's one subtle thing that the game did there. They never introduced that enemy type.
Yeah.
You just enter the building and then you see something.
Crawl away.
Yeah, and then it was like, wait, I've never seen a fungus monster crawl that way. And the game never has like, be careful. These enemies can do this. No. Oh, no. You just
It's
was
amazing.
good, yeah.
But man, you know, some games, you look through the level selection and you have like one or two that stick out.
Mm-hmm.
For example, Doom Eternal has no individual moment that I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Doom Eternal is a 10 of 10 masterpiece.
Yeah.
But there's not an there's no highlight that I remember.
Because it's constant.
Because it's always the same thing. It's a fighting game, right?
Yeah.
We fight wave after wave almost. What I remember sometimes is the location. I remember it being super beautiful. I remember it being intense as almost no other game, right?
Yeah.
But when I went through the chapters of The Last of Us, I remembered almost every single location
And what you thought.
and what I
then,
thought when I first was there.
Yeah.
And it's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
When you go through the skyscraper down,
Yes,
As Abby?
the hotel thing with the yeah. Oh my!
when you go down
with
and
these wall things that said
what's his name? Lev,
Lev, I think.
and he doesn't have a mask,
Yeah.
and then you have to go alone. Or of course, Ground Zero,
Wait, which one is Ground Zero?
where the infection in Seattle started, with the Rat King boss. We have to go down to the hospital.
The
basically.
hospital, yes, with the amalgamation of where you follow the trail. Oh, yes.
Like
that was
Abby
so
has a lot more memorable
good. Yeah, that
locations.
was so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So good.
What a game.
So yeah, because you made the remark before that people might
Still
not
rolling?
know. Still rolling, yeah. Might not know what my opinion was. On my channel, I have The Last of Us. I wouldn't call it a review. It's just my stream of
Stream of consciousness.
train of thought. Sorry, stream of thought. Train of thought. It's about half an hour. It's a little bit rambly. It's very. Anton probably would vomit watching it because
I watched it.
It's zero editing.
No, I watched it.
But
Zero editing, no problem.
yeah. Oh, okay. And we're just talk about the game. And Anton, in my opinion, on that game, you guys know if you've watched the channel for a long time that usually our opinions on game are heavily different, right? But on that game, we're pretty much. It's insane that we reached this conclusion because in my review, I gave the gameplay like 2.5 minutes, right? And the rest was just story and world and stuff. And you were more like, I'm more of a gameplay gamer, right? And we reached the same conclusions about the game, which is, I think it's amazing. And
It's funny, you know.
I also would
I
say
think
that this
about
game
this-
is a
I think
9 or 9.5.
I think about the game and the game's story, and I always go back and forth.
Mm.
I think there's so much shit in that story.
Yes!
And there's so much good stuff in that story.
Yes!
But overall, I do believe I've come to the conclusion that I find the writing very amateurish. And I'll tell you why. A good story writer has a cohesive story and also uses that story to then convey a message to you. The Last of Us doesn't do that. The Last of Us has a message and then creates 1,000 arcs around that message. And it's not one cohesive piece. It's not one cohesive story.
Yeah.
And that's, I feel like the best word to use is amateurish.
Yeah.
Right? It's amateur.
It's exactly that.
It's amateur writing.
Yeah.
And even though I feel like the writing is all beautiful, the stories all make sense. I feel like I understand all of it and it makes sense and I feel for the characters. But it's just like, for example, when I played through the first time, I'm like, now I have to go to that fucking island and save that kid. Like, it makes sense. Everything makes sense.
To the Scar Island.
But what's the story?
Yeah.
Like, I know why you want me to do this. You want me to do this so I like Abby. And it's working. But this is amateurish. You're supposed to write one story.
Yeah.
Write one story that follows one direction, and you can then give me this message of compassion, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But the game doesn't do that. It tells you 1,000 different stories, and it doesn't quite work.
Yeah. Which is why in my review, I don't know if I said it in my review, but I told it to you once before I finished The Last of Us 2, and after it stands true even more for me, I think. It has a lot of similarities, or it has the same problems as Death Stranding, in my opinion. In like, not gameplay-wise. Gameplay-wise, those games have nothing in common. But they're both touching on something that is a lot larger than they're capable of doing.
You mean they reached the limitation of the medium?
No, they didn't reach the limitation of the medium, but the writing is not up to par to what it actually wanted to be. And I think Death Stranding also, like Death Stranding has
horrible writing. Come on, man.
It reaches levels of cringe that I didn't think Kojima was capable of.
But Last of Us for me didn't have cringe.
Well,
did it have cringe?
It didn't have. No, it didn't have. The last Santa, the last mission is.
I enjoyed that. You didn't, I know,
but it's like. But what Death Stranding wants to convey to you is also like it's insane. Like it also blends into the gameplay, right? People working together, even though they don't know each other, to make the world a better place. But the story just didn't fully. It's a mess. Fully. It's an absolute mess.
Yeah.
Things happening in the wrong order, and the pacing is off, and everything is kind of wrong.
Too long.
But you know what Kojima wanted to actually tell you, what kind of story he actually wanted to tell you, and if you think about what he wanted to tell you, it's beautiful, it's amazing, and I think The Last of Us 2 had the same.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
I know what Mr. What's his name? Druckmann wanted to tell us.
Yeah.
And it's not subtle. Like he's kind of on the nose with it, but it's just missing that little bit of the spark that
keeps
makes
it together,
that makes it actually enter your brain, and you're like, oh my god, it was beautiful. I feel like the message has reached me.
Yeah. Before we move on from Last of Us, maybe one more thing. When I played through the game. I was like, because everyone was telling me, they didn't want to spoil it for me. They were like, there's this one moment, changes everything, suck. From then on forward, it will suck. And I kept playing, like, I was so scared, like, when's going to be the moment that's going to make this game suck? So far, it's amazing.
Yeah. I'm 30 hours in, like,
it was like that. It was like that. And then I came on Discord, I'm like, so I'm at that part now. When's the sucky part? And they're like, just wait. You're about to reach the part where it's going to be all shitty.
Okay.
I play 5 hours more. It just keeps getting better.
Yeah.
I'm loving this game, Like, when's the part that I'm supposed to hate? I get nervous.
Yeah.
And then they're like, where are you yet? Where are you now? I'm at that part. Just wait. It's about to suck. And then I finished the game and like, where's the shitty part? This is an amazing game, And I don't know where was the part that I was supposed to hate. I'm not sure. But
I don't know.
I think what bothers people the most, I think, can we spoil this point? So I think at this point everyone knows, right?
Okay.
And also it happens in the first hour of the game.
Yeah.
So spoiler alert now, what happens in the first hour of the game?
Yeah.
You can.
No, I'm personally not going to hold back. Like when we talk
say
about
it now. 1, 2, 3. So Joel dies.
Yeah.
So this pissed off a lot of people. And so I obviously don't give a fuck about the first game. I don't have no connection to Ellie or Joel, so I don't care. But then I tried to think. So for me, the way they killed Joel was very well made. Like, because I thought about why he's being killed, and it absolutely makes sense for someone for Abby to want to kill him. It makes so much sense. Like, you would probably want the same thing. Imagine if your dad was working on a cure, and then this egotistical son of a bitch murders your dad. Like, this is so fucking understandable. And I feel like it has nothing to do if you like the character or not. Like, Arthur and John both die in each Red Dead game. And they both deserve to die. I'm not mad that they die. They deserve to die. This is what makes sense for them.
Okay.
And let's imagine, like, in the next God of War game. Imagine the next God of War game starts with Kratos being killed.
Yeah.
That's not good or bad.
People would hate it.
No. But that's weird to me because you can kill him, but do it right. Right? Like, if Kratos is killed, then that would be like a huge thing, right? But you can do that in a good way, I think. Any character that I like can be killed if it's done well. And I feel like Joel was killed very well. It's not like I never had the feeling like he's being killed and then the game just moves on like he never existed. Joel is a key part of the game. There are so many too long flashbacks. It's very much about him. It's the motivator to keep you going as Ellie, right? And I feel like they killed him in a very good way.
Agreed. So 2 things there. 1, the people that got triggered by that and then went on the internet to put out hate, no way of killing Joel would have actually been okay for them.
Maybe it was just the leaks that they saw it, they read it.
No, I'm 100% sure that these kinds of people, they're usually very young and emotionally inexperienced and unausgeglichen, right?
I don't know if it's that though. I feel like if the game came out without leak and they played it and saw it, the reaction would have been different. Because imagine you love a character and then you read online he's killed. That has a very different impact on you than when you play a story for an hour already. You're in it. You've been so hyped, and you see him killed because he's killed. It's a very emotional scene, right? And I think then it has a different impact on you than when you see a leak on Kotaku. Joel is murdered by random noob character. You're like, what the fuck? I kind of get that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I feel like these people just ruined the game for themselves. I think if they just play the game without leaks and then seeing it play out, because it is done incredibly well. I don't know.
Yeah. We will never know.
We will never know, yeah.
I personally don't take in my mind's eye, the people that put out these hate comments are just little kids.
I don't know
and
if
that's
true.
why I don't take anything seriously there.
I don't know if that's true. I think the problem is that they read it. They just read it.
Yeah.
And in combination with Druckmann being a little bit of a bit full of himself.
Yeah.
It's the sort of, I'm such an artist. It's this sort of attitude.
Yeah, it was the perfect storm maybe of factors that led to it.
You think you're such an artist, now you kill my favorite character?
Yeah.
Like, screw you.
I get it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, imagine what's the creative director of God of War, Cory Barlog something? Like, he's like the visionary behind God of War. Imagine, he's a cool guy, but imagine if he was constantly like so smug, posting about himself, and then like, when I killed Kratos in the new game, and then I wanted to be like this and to symbolize, then people were like, fuck you, man.
I understand.
If he's a humble guy who's popular, and then they kill Kratos in a really interesting way, and in a way that's also understandable, because Kratos is not immortal, right? Yeah. He can be defeated.
He can be killed.
Yeah. Then it would make sense. And I think everyone knows that this new God of War reboot the trilogy is gonna end with, probably everyone thinks this, with Atreus killing him, right? That's how God of War 1 ends, with him seeing the vision of Atreus killing him.
I hope.
Yeah, because there's a good way to kill a character. There's a good way to kill a character that you like, right? I mean, Game of Thrones, I never seen it, but characters are killed there.
Yeah.
And I think most of the time in ways that people like, right?
Yeah.
Or that people can understand.
Yes, they can understand, but to my second point, that kind of is a little bit against my first point, but I understand the emotional turmoil that actually getting a character, like a fictional character you love, killed is.
But feeling sad is different from feeling angry, right? People in Game of Thrones, I've never watched that show, so I don't know, but from outside it always looked like people were just like, they loved that show for that. Like, no, he died, I'm so sad. Yeah. But I didn't hear like hate storm against the guy, like, fuck you for killing my favorite character.
Yes, that's maybe
like, oh no,
because of Druckmann's attitude and the different factors. Because I remember, like, there was a character in Game of Thrones that was Lord Oberyn, and he was awesome, and I was rooting for him, and then he dies in a very horrific scene, gets his head smashed like a tomato, and I remember that it was just a show, right? I was never really that invested into Game of Thrones, but I was like, oh my god, that hurt. Yeah. And
squished like a tomato. Oh wow!
And to get back to The Last of Us 2. So I don't know if I think I said this on a stream before, but I played the first game, and the first game impacted me quite heavily.
Emotional, like the story?
Yes.
Why?
Because I hate Joel. Right? And it's not like I hate him as a person. Joel's choice to save Abby and kill the doctor. We talked about this in the podcast, I remember. Yeah. Joel didn't make a choice for or against Abby. He made a choice against Ellie. Sorry. He made a choice against science. And this is something that I can never, ever.
No, but that was an emotional choice he did. He didn't want her to get killed.
Yes.
That was an emotional choice for her.
You know, he made the choice only Ellie, yes or no. But in the grander scheme of things, he made the most inhuman choice of them all. Because what defines us as humans is our ability to reflect, to abstract, and not our emotional drive.
Now you have a daughter, though. Maybe if you replay that game now, you'd be like, if my daughter get killed for that?
I don't see that much of a connection there, honestly.
No, but he saw her as a daughter. He saw her as a daughter that he lost once before.
Give it a few years. right now, my daughter is still only diaper changing and screaming. So give it a few years, maybe then, right?
You mean okay.
But at the moment right now, Joel's decision is much more than just a little decision. It's a
the impact that his decision had.
Yeah, it's a paradigm of thinking that I'm so opposed to that since I've played the first game, I've hated Joel so much, even though he doesn't.
That's the thing. Even though I think most people don't see it like you, but it's kind of irrelevant because even though I get what he did, Abby has to kill him. Of course, she wants to kill him.
Yeah.
Like, this.
Yeah.
It's one thing of taking Ellie away from there.
Yeah.
But he also killed the doctors.
Everyone. Yeah, exactly. Even the Firefly lady at the end.
Yeah. It's like, of course, Abby wants to kill him.
Yeah. And that's what I mean.
That's why Ellie wants to kill Abby.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's
exactly.
the same reasoning. That's the point of the story.
And that's what I mean with my second point. Like, I understand. I even caught myself liking The Last of Us 2 more because Joel dies.
Interesting.
Right?
Interesting.
And so this is why I kind of actually understand the people that don't like the game because Joel died, even though it was made in such a excellent way. So, yeah. But looking back at it, The Last of Us 2
it's one of my favorite games of all time.
is a game is made in a way how they don't really make games that way anymore. Like, the gameplay just feels like it's made with a love for this type of game that I don't feel with AAA.
You can mirror the game to make it more unfamiliar. There is so much
mirror the game.
They have check out the options in that game. There is so much you can change. Yeah. You can change the art style, and you can also mirror the entire game, so it's different on a second playthrough. And you also have an option to mirror it on every death.
Oh my god!
They have put so much thought into this game to make it
and
as much fun.
This amount of optional content that's in it, that's not something that's usually in games anymore. And I really want to commend everything that they did.
And I think I mentioned that in the game too. Is like they don't just allow you. This is what I love, for example. Yeah. They don't just allow you to chapter select. Yeah. They allow you to encounter select. So certain encounters that you enjoyed, you can just replay the encounters. You don't have to play the chapter. And it's just, man, they did almost everything right. Yeah. It's just like I said in the beginning, the amateurish writing and the obsession with the message to an extent to forget the bigger picture is a problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Like standing on a cliff as Abby. And then looking down changes the camera actually to reflect her fear of heights. Like, wow.
Yeah. Amazing. True.
Yeah.
I
love it. Yeah. I love it. I enjoy it.
Before we are almost at 1.5 hours, and then we can start to do some questions. Yeah. Anything else? Any other?
Yeah, I have a little tidbit that we can do. So, as you guys all know, global pandemic and all, cultural institutions, I don't know how you say them, theaters, cinemas, stuff like that, they're having a rough time. And I was very happy to get the opportunity to go to the cinema a few months back, I think. And I watched Tenet, Christopher Nolan's new movie. And we never talked about the movie, but judging from your facial expression, our views might differ on that one. Because I think Tenet is an absolute masterpiece.
I think it's the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen. If we talk about this now, it's going to be at least 10-minute segment.
It's at least a 10-minute segment? Okay.
I think this is the personification of shit.
The personification.
It's the anti-Nolan movie. It's Nolan completely forgetting what makes a movie great and obsessing over a fucking idea and not making a movie into what a movie should be, and which is entertaining and accessible, like Inception. Inception was a complex idea sold to us in an accessible way. It's deep and accessible at the same time, and Tenet was a math exercise. It's not a fun movie. It's not fun. But there's so much wrong with that movie. I think the main actor, Washington.
Yeah. He's
like, it stuck out to me how bad it was. I had to laugh several times. Yeah. There's one scene in the end where a guy says something to him, and he's like, "No, that would be way too dangerous." But the other guy was making a joke. Yeah. It's like, "Hey, yo, Andi, let's jump off a cliff." And you'd be like, "No, that would be way too dangerous." he reacted like that. Yeah. That actor was so bad. Like, he didn't understand what was going on. Yeah. Then I could acoustically, I heard this from a lot of people.
That was the problem.
They can't understand what's being said.
That was the main problem of the movie. That the sound mix was off.
Yeah, a lot of native English speakers couldn't understand what's being said. But not only was it that, I think the pacing was bad. The action scenes I didn't enjoy. There was nothing about the movie that was fun. The end of the world being dependent on some Russian yacht fuck. It's everything. I hate everything about that movie.
You think that movie was the anti-Nolan movie?
Yeah,
I think that movie was the essential Nolan movie.
I get what you're saying though.
Yeah.
But it's Nolan shedding himself of everything he tried to make movies accessible and only focusing on I have this vision of an idea. And then it's like a Kojima movie.
Yeah, okay. I understand.
That's why I get what you're saying with he's so obsessed with I want to get that idea done. Yeah. And I'm sure this movie is full of crazy detail and how they thought it through and shit. But it's just, for me, it's garbage. Like when this lady, the scientist lady in the beginning said, don't try to understand it. Yeah. I was already like, that's a message to the audience. That was a message to the audience.
I never felt it that.
Like, don't try to understand it.
Like,
yeah, okay, good. Fuck this fucking shit movie.
Yeah. But that's actually a good idea because, so I watched it twice now. The first time I realized very quickly that the sound is so off that I actually don't understand the dialogue. Yeah. So what it basically came down to was a 2.5-hour movie with muted dialogue where I knew 10 minutes in, okay, don't try to understand it. Just let it riesel.
Yeah, but
right?
That doesn't work.
And then, wait. Okay. And that's kind of, luckily for the movie, that's kind of the point of it. Because on the first watching, you're like the actor traveling in the first direction of time. Okay?
Oh, come on.
And then the movie finishes, you're like, okay, does this even make sense? I'm kind of annoyed. Whatever. Okay. But you notice that there's still so much that you didn't pick up on the first watching that you kind of have to see it again. And then on the second watching, when you actually turn on subtitles, so you understand the dialogue, you're kind of, it feels like you're the character who's going back in time, like who's in the backwards time direction, because you already know everything that's going to happen.
So you think Nolan had like a meta thing in mind where he wants the viewer to watch it twice, so then he's like traveling back in time?
No one can plan for that. Like he didn't make the sound mix bad on purpose, so you have to do
Maybe
that.
The movie makes sense if you actually watch it in reverse.
No, it doesn't. No. But in the second watching was such an epiphany for me because everything just fell into place like a perfect 4-dimensional puzzle math equation that I had a boner for 2.5 hours.
I read a really great review. I don't know where it was. I think it was Kotaku maybe. And it was really on point where it said it's a complex movie, a really deep movie with a complicated idea and well made, but it's not fun. And I talked with my best friend, Stas, too, and he also agreed. Like, he doesn't hate it, but it's not a fun movie. Like when I watched Inception, I think 4 times in a movie theater because when I didn't get something there,
you wanted to go in again.
I wanted to get in again and understand it because it made sense.
100%
but in Tenet,
agree.
there's nothing there I like. I don't like any of the characters. I don't buy any of it. I don't understand the stakes. I hate everything about this movie. There's no. It's like me wanting to do a math exercise again until I get it. It's work and it's not fun. I think this movie is the worst Nolan movie because he forgot what made his movies great. It's having a great idea and then presenting it in a good way. Like we talked with Caesar. What story you tell doesn't always matter. How you tell a story always matters. Like in the past, Nolan, like Memento, Inception, a lot of his movies have like time things. He always made sure to tell a crazy story, but tell it in a way that people get. And in Tenet, he's like, fuck it. I'm just gonna, everything runs back and forward and you fuck you and that's it. And I can kind of respect that.
I enjoy it.
I can respect his like fuck you attitude.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure that he loves that movie, I'm pretty sure. And it's just his vision. Yeah. And he just rammed it into our ass.
And I respect that. And I feel like I wish that more people were like that. Because they just take you don't use lube. Yeah, just
I kind of agree with you. I wish that more people gave less fucks and just push their vision through. Yeah. I agree.
Even if maybe like Druckmann, right? Yeah. He didn't give a fuck. And like he made the game as he wanted it to be. Yeah.
And what you end up having is games that are very hit and miss. Yeah. Or but more unique kind of.
Yeah, but that's like the point of art, right? True. Art if it's made to
Careful
please
not to move the table too much.
If it's made to please people, then
I mean, I think that's the problem with Ubisoft because there it's just so many cooks stirring the pot that there's no more vision. True. Maybe I do respect that as well about that movie. I was exaggerating a little bit when I said it's the worst piece of shit. I really don't like that movie.
The Dark Knight Rises is by far the worst Nolan movie.
No, Dunkirk. Have you seen Dunkirk?
No, I haven't seen it.
You should watch that to fall asleep. I was in shock. Okay, that's when Nolan died for me.
Okay, Dunkirk is worse than The Dark Knight Rises. Respect.
It's like the point. It's the point of the movie to bore you.
Okay.
Like that's the message.
Ouch.
That's the message. Like war is about waiting. So just get bored. That's what I got from that movie. It's just insane.
Okay.
Have you seen 1917?
Yes.
It's like, dude, that movie, that scene in the end when he's sitting with the soldiers and the one guy's singing.
Yes. 1917 was, I think, the best movie I've seen last year. Was it this year or last year?
This year, beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah.
It's the last movie I saw before the
pandemic.
By
far the best. Like it's
have you checked the making of how they made it?
No.
They rebuilt the sets outside, and because everything is made like one shot, they had to count the amount of steps and how long the dialogue lasts to reach from A to B. It's like, why mindfuck yourself like that? Why torture yourself? Yeah.
1917? 17 or 40?
1917. Truly amazing.
Amazing, yeah.
Well, Andi,
good.
We're gonna pull 10 questions out of the hat. Andi, you pull.
Okay.
You read it? Oh, it's a long one.
Okay. From Gao Wen Tao. Sup, Anton and Andi, my fav YouTube channel. Love you, Anton, not only because all your contents are epic and hit my point just right, but also because of your
Shabi wahrscheinlich.
No, it's not Shabi. It's
Chinese characters.
Sha something as fuck. Yeah.
Shabi wahrscheinlich.
I'm sure by the time podcast 18 happens, you already found a new place and that little hurt your body have healed. Probably bad grammar, but still hope everything at best with the both of you and Sophia.
Thanks.
So nothing for my wife. Thanks, fucker. So my question is for the both of you: what game really impact you guys most on an emotional level? For me, it's Life is Strange. Check it out, which was probably partly because when I was playing it first time, I was in a lower point of my life, was lonely and stuff, but every time I replay it now, reaching the second half of the game still gets me depressed as fuck. Ooh, ouch. Did you guys have similar experiences or y'all cold gaming mofos? P.S. I'm on Discord. Sorry, not very active because I want to be, but right now really busy with college stuff. And Andi in physics major, tutor me please. Science segment coming up.
Thank you.
For you.
Thank you. 高文涛.
高文涛, 谢谢.
Yeah. The last game that moved me emotionally, man. I mean, The Last of Us a little bit.
The Last of Us, yeah.
But it didn't. I was never ever close to tears there or anything like that. I just. Have you ever cried during a game?
While you think, I can go ahead. So, I think I've told the story on a previous podcast before, but the first game where I really learned that games can be more than just fun gameplay was Final Fantasy X. Because that was the first point, I think that was the first game that I've played that had like these really long cutscenes with voiced dialogue, right? Because, for example, Final Fantasy VIII also had these big cutscenes with incredible CGI back in the day, but there was no voice, no talking. And so it always felt kind of uncanny valley there. But in Final Fantasy X, everything was, they really hit the spot with that game. And that was the first time where I realized, hey, the story they're telling is actually not just servicing to drive the gameplay forward, but it's actually a story that they wanted to tell. Right? There are sections in Final Fantasy X where there's not much gameplay happening, and it's just the characters learning to like getting close and lovey, yeah. And that was the first time where I realized, oh wow, there's actually an emotional impact to video games. And then the game just went to infinity from there. And I especially remember the end where you have to like kill your own helpers, and it's the perfect JRPG arc. And that was the first time that it really.
Did you ever cry from a game?
There.
You cried?
Yeah.
No, actual tears, I mean, yeah?
Yeah. But it's not like, but
yeah,
it's the eyes are getting a little wet.
Did you ever, anything else? Any other game that ever made you cry? Because like just to make it clear, I cry a lot. Find a movie where I don't cry. It's difficult. I am a very emotional person and empathetic person, and with movies I cry. I cry in every Scrubs episode. Okay. Like it's with
movies I never. Actually.
I always cry, but I don't think I've ever cried from a game.
Okay.
I mean, I've been always a notorious cutscene skipper. I mean, I always say the games that have moved me was Knights of the Old Republic 1, when your your master, what her name, Batista or some shit, Batista. When she turns evil, that was quite a mindfuck. Fallout 3 fucked with my head.
Red Dead
1.
Yeah.
GTA 4 was a really moving story for me, but I don't think I was ever even close to crying from a game. I remember in Gears of War 2, because the German dub was so bad, the scene with Dom I laughed because the German dub was so bad. You cried
from the laughter.
Yeah. When the really sad scene, when with his wife, when he finds her, I just laughed because I was a kid and the German dub was ridiculous.
Honestly,
cry from a game.
Yeah. But I mean, you don't have to connect the emotional impact with if you cry.
But why? I'm so emotional with movies. Why doesn't it not happen with games? I don't know.
You have to do too much.
Yeah.
There are parts of your body that are active.
I remember when I played Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 2 is such a unique game in my memory because I remember playing through Mass Effect 2, and there have never been that many instances of me thinking this is the best game ever made. I particularly remember this with Mass Effect 2, constantly playing it and thinking, this is the best game ever made. But now when I think back, there's not much I remember. And it's so weird. Why? But I remember it so vividly, sitting over there where the PC... and playing it in like a couple of days, like, this is the best game ever made. This is the best game ever made. And that was so story-focused.
Okay.
Yeah. But games don't move me that much emotionally. Yeah. Somehow.
Different medium, I guess. That's just how the medium works, I guess.
I hope that answers your questions. Go and tell. I'm going to pull the next one out of a head.
Just real quick, another one that also really hit me was Metal Gear Solid 3. But
okay. From Skid's Girl. Right on, mate.
He's from Skill Up.
he's Australian. Right on. He told me that Australians always say right on. Did you know that?
Okay.
Right on.
No.
Right on, brother. Right on, right on. I'm just kidding. They actually don't say that. But he says they don't say that, but I mean, he's probably just from New Zealand. Have you or Andi ever been to concerts? If so, what was your favorite? And has Andi ever seen TLOU live? Hope you're both well and safe. You too, Skids, you're an amazing guy. Let's put that.
Concerts. You want to go first?
I've never been to a concert. No, but I can tell you why.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I love speaking of crying, when I watch System of a Down playing a 3-hour free concert in the rain in Armenia, I watch that, I cry every time. Like when I watch concerts, I'm so moved and I love it so much. I wish I was there. But then when I actually imagine I'm there, when you tell me stories, it's like
you're getting a panic attack just thinking about it, right?
Okay. Like I'm not even kidding. What if a bomb goes off? Or what happened to you? Having beer poured over your head.
Yeah.
That's not like something I can enjoy in any realm.
Okay.
There's no parallel universe where I enjoy having beer anywhere near my body.
Okay.
It's no.
Okay.
I can't.
Well, that is understandable, and I actually don't have any rational arguments against that. I just think that you made a good point. When you see a concert, you get this emotional tingly feeling.
This is awesome. The whole crowd, I want to go there.
It feels electric.
Yeah.
And for me, once I'm there, this feeling overwhelms everything else. And once I'm there, standing in the middle of the crowd, actually, most of the things I don't actually even remember, right? It's like I enter a parallel universe, and I'm in the middle there.
I have all these stupid thoughts, like, what if I have to pee? How do I get out?
You just get out.
But have you seen the rock concert? How many people?
You'd be surprised. You're out there in a minute. If you're standing right in the middle,
but how do you even know where to get out? Everything.
Well, you see the stage.
Yeah, man. There's so many questions I have. I don't think I can handle it, man.
So understandably, Anton has not been to that many concerts. I've been to quite a few. I think 40 concerts or something in my life, and I've seen. My first one was actually Die Toten Hosen. It's a German punk band that has since gone completely Arschscheiße.
They still exist?
Yeah, they still exist
wow.
and are
They're like
actually
50?
really horrible. Yeah, they're just a bunch of boomers now thinking they're punks, and it's
cringe.
Absolute cringe. Anyway, and my last concert that I've been to was TLOU2 in Switzerland.
Wow.
Yeah, I took the long drive down to Switzerland to
Skitz is
Zurich.
he's a drum player, by the way, Skitz.
Then I know why he asks about TLOU2. Yeah, and that was an amazing concert, even though Switzerland is expensive as fuck and I still get triggered by it. But I love concerts, and I think it's hard to rationalize what's so awesome about it until you actually stand.
I've kind of been at concerts before, like in our city. Sometimes we have this thing, and I've never really felt it. But those are also much smaller scale and not really bands that I like.
Exactly, right? Exactly.
I really have this dream of going to a System of a Down concert, but it's just not going to happen. Or like a 3 Days Grace when they just play the 1X album. Or like certain rappers. But it's like I what if I have to pee or poop?
You just go.
No, I'm too. What am I too? I'm too
controlling. Yeah, you cannot let it fall off.
True.
Yeah.
Although I get like when I watch it on YouTube, I get goosebumps. I'm like, I want to be there so bad. But yeah.
In Germany, we have this annual festival called Rock am Ring and Rock im Park. It's like the same festival in 2 different locations. And that was, for a long time, that was kind of a really big institution. Like, if you were a music lover or rock music lover, you went to Rock am Ring. And that was really one of the biggest moments for me when I was there. And I came to my, like, Rock am Ring was my limit because it's a 3-day festival. You're camping there, eating complete shit.
I could never do that.
The entire area is drowned in vomit, and like I've reached my absolute limit there, and I've actually reached a point during that festival where I was like, oh, I think Anton was right. I want to go home now.
But concerts are also alcohol definitely plays a role in concerts, right?
That depends. It really
like
heavily depends.
People are wasted there, and
on concerts,
and I don't drink, and I hate being around drunk people.
On concerts, not. On festivals, yes.
What's the difference?
Festivals are multi-day, like, or a whole day, 10 different bands. If you just go to a concert of one band, then there's not really much alcohol involved.
Okay.
Yeah. Another band that I recently saw last year was Haken. It's like they're like progressive metal band. They came to a town near us, and that was also it was a 1-hour drive from here. I drove there. The concert was 2 hours. There's literally not enough time to get absolutely wasted during 2 hours. So it was just like a room full of nerds enjoying that music, and then I drove home.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. Not every concert is Rock am Ring. Let's say that. Yeah. Maybe you could start small.
Andi, next question.
Okay. What do we have here?
Number 3.
Ahmed Shaban. Did I pronounce that correctly?
I have no idea.
Okay. What do you think of the e-begging going on Twitch, where the creators will constantly shame their viewers for not subbing $5 a month for their entertainment they consume?
I think Twitch is like its own what do you say?
Microcosm
that I have just nothing to do with.
Okay.
They live like in their own world. But honestly, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Okay.
Like, you don't have to give money.
I personally, sorry, Ahmed.
Let me just fix it up a little bit.
But I think this question says a lot more about you than it says about Twitch, because why does that even impact you? I personally, if a content creator says, "Hey, I need the money," or "Why are you consuming my content if you're not supporting me?" That's an aggressive move. But if you don't agree, then just don't watch.
Yeah. Also, if they're only begging, then there's no content for you to watch, so they're probably not going to do that, right? If they're only begging, then watch someone else, I guess.
I personally always, all the criticism that's happening against streamers on Twitch is always like, it says a lot more about the viewers that voice their criticism than it actually says about the content creators. I think it's like, kind of. I'm
also e-begging when I tell people support the Discord.
Yes.
Support the Patreon thing.
Yeah. And it's just so weird to me that, like, there's a streamer who puts himself out there voluntarily
for free.
Yeah. And I don't know. I don't understand how you can expect them or to do anything because it's their thing. Like,
Yeah,
you can always turn off the stream.
I've seen these videos that people were supposed to be outraged about when like female. I've seen only clips of females doing this, but it doesn't matter. So saying like, you have like $5, like shaming people, and they want me to be outraged about, but I genuinely don't care. It's like she needs money to live.
and she's not forcing you.
Yeah,
like,
she's not taking money from you.
How does the image of a girl on the internet have so much power over you that you feel conflicted? Like I don't understand.
Yeah, it just doesn't bother me at all, and I also don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Yeah,
like people, I don't see the value in streams, like I've said before, or I'm not saying that they don't have value or that I don't understand when people see it, but I don't see it always. So I don't know what it is you're looking for there. But I feel like if you consume someone's streams a lot, then what's wrong with giving them some money? They put time into streaming that they don't put into working, right? No.
Hot take there.
I don't mean to say that's not work. I meant to say that they could go to make a job where they get paid directly.
Yeah,
right?
True.
Where they have a contract where they get paid. But now they choose to do this job where the payment comes from them telling you, please drop me a couple of bucks.
Yeah.
And I don't see anything wrong with that. Yeah.
But thank you still for the question.
And join the page. Oh, no, you're already patron. Okay. Daniel Xie, XIE. Amid the coronavirus, Khabib refused to stay in Florida and fight, but Tony Ferguson will still fight for the interim. I feel like this is probably really out of date because that podcast was a while ago. Will still fight for the interim lightweight belt on May 9th against Justice Gaethje. Oh, that fight was just recently. I'd like to know from a smart man such as yourself, do you think it's a good idea for UFC 249 to still take place during the pandemic? Tony Ferguson could potentially throw away his Khabib fight if he does. I have to tell you, man, you sound like you're a lot more into UFC than I am. I'm really not that much. I'm really only very much a superficial fan who just enjoys a couple of people fighting. That's Nate Diaz, McGregor, and Khabib. These are the people that I enjoy seeing. And
Same.
I'm zero involved in the politics of it all. I know there's a lot of that going on. Like, some money fight and Dana White organizes this fight with this guy to piss this guy off. It's all cool. It's a fascinating community. I don't care that much.
No.
And I'm sorry. But Khabib won the fight against this guy. Did you see?
No.
Khabib now retired officially. Said he promises his dad died recently.
Okay.
Rest in peace. And he said that he promised his mom to only make one more fight. He smashed the guy, like he smashes everyone.
Yeah.
And he said he's retiring 29-0, number one pound-for-pound fighter in the history.
Jesus Christ.
Khabib is an absolute legend. And I have nothing but respect for Khabib. And I like Conor McGregor too. Somehow sometimes I feel like people have to decide what side you're on. I like both. And I feel like this is really eating at Conor. I feel like that loss really ate at him, not just because it was a loss, but now there's no more chance for a rematch. And I genuinely believe that McGregor thought, because after a fight, when McGregor analyzed himself, you can always say like, oh, you're just a sore loser, blah, blah, blah. But if you listen to what McGregor said, he really analyzed himself sometimes quite good. And because he did make mistakes in that fight that were unlike him. And I would have just liked to see a rematch. I think it's fair to have a rematch. And that would have been a good rematch. And Khabib probably would have still smashed him, but it would have been a cool rematch. And I think it would have been an important rematch for Conor. And I feel like if Conor lost the second rematch, he would also be more at peace with himself, funnily enough. Yeah. Because then he can accept the fact
that he was better. That Khabib was better.
Khabib was better, and that he now fought the way that he wanted to.
Yeah.
Because in that first fight, I do believe that he did a lot of mistakes because he overthought it maybe, or I don't know.
But wasn't the entire thing about the first fight, the entire drama around it? And the rematch wouldn't have that anymore.
It wouldn't have that, but obviously if you just want the drama, it maybe wouldn't have that. But I'm just interested from a fighting perspective because I do believe Conor is an amazing fighter. Yeah. And I would have liked to see him try a different approach and see how that ends. And I believe that really eats at him, that he's not going to get that rematch.
True. But
maybe when they're both washed up in 10 years and they need money, maybe then they're going to organize.
Yeah. Show fight. Yeah. But Conor's not retired.
I think he is too.
He is too. Okay.
But dude, with retirements.
Yeah. I mean,
how many times did Conor say he retires? This is all strategy business with Dana White.
Retirement is not a official thing.
That's also the thing why I can't follow the UFC much, because it's so
fast. There's so much happening.
Not fast.
No.
It's fake, but not like fake fights. It's fake in the sense it's not a real ladder. It's business. It's Dana makes fights that he wants to make that are good business fights. It's not a real, like not like the Olympics where like, I don't know if the Olympics, it's not, no. Best example is like the Bundesliga in Germany. Sure, it's a business. It's a huge business, but it's more or less the
best team.
There are rules.
Yeah.
Like this, like the worst 3 teams go down.
This is not Vietnam.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like the worst 3 teams go down, the best 3 teams go up a league.
Yeah.
But there is no like that in UFC. In UFC, everyone negotiates the best fights.
Okay.
It's a business, and that's why I don't see a point in following it. I just like to see
understandable.
I just like to see certain people fight.
Okay, let's go. Oh wow! This name is impossible to pronounce. Michal Duchak. I don't know. Sorry, man. But thank you for the question. Hallo, Anton und Andi. This is a question for Andi. Is there a specific thing that inspired you to pursue physics, and why laser technology as the major? Much love and stay safe. So, specific thing that made me choose physics? No. Or at least I don't remember, because in my earliest recollection of me contemplating what I do for my future, it has always been physics. I don't remember myself ever thinking about anything else. So
and you've been like a physicist since you were so young.
Since sperm's state.
Like you've been. If you met Andi when he was a kid, he's always been a physicist kind of person.
It's weird, but it has always been like that.
And I've always been an entertainer.
Yeah. True.
Isn't it true?
Yeah, it's absolutely true.
I've always been the goofball, class clown, and you've always been the guy who looks at everything, checks it out, tries to understand
the mechanisms behind it.
Yeah. We both ended up where we're supposed to.
Which I realize that this is kind of a useless answer for you, because maybe you're actually haven't found you or don't have this calling, stupidly said, but that's just how it was for us. And why laser technology? Well, that was very simple. I'm not a big fan of theory, and the thing I enjoy the most in physics is the setup and execution of experiments. And laser technology is one of the fields where there's still a lot to discover. As I said in one of the earlier podcasts with the laser wake field acceleration, it's still a big field where a lot of research is done, and where a lot of on-site like menial labor is necessary. And I really enjoy that part of physics. I know it's maybe not the most...
The theorists, they look down on you. Probably.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, look at this peasant. Yeah,
engineers versus physicists.
But it's just the part of physics I enjoy most, like big experiments with a lot of hands-on work, and that's why I chose this one, which I stand by. I still think that's the correct choice.
Now question 5, right? That's question 5? Okay.
Wait, I have... You have 1, 2, 3.
Oh, I have 2.
Then there's question 6.
Question 6.
Looking at the camera, is it not a little bit dark, maybe? Or is that just the camera?
I think it's just... No, it looks good.
Looks good?
Maybe yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's all good. I hope the thing won't get full soon.
We shall see.
And we haven't done the science segment. Okay, Frank Griff. Opinion about The Last of Us 2 leaked story, and what do you about Naughty Dog crunch time culture? We talked about Last of Us 2 crunch time. Oh, fuck. Sorry, again. Frank Griff. Opinion about The Last of Us 2 leaked story, and what do you think about Naughty Dog crunch time culture? So we talked about Last of Us already.
Yeah.
Crunch. I feel like, how much longer can we do this podcast? We're basically at 2 hours.
Yeah, this is the 6-month podcast.
The reason why I'm saying this, I'm not worried about this one. I'm worried about this camera, because the file sizes are so big. Yes. I feel like we have to live with the fact that it might turn off any time, then there's no replacement. Because if the flash drives are full.
We just have one camera left, or what do you mean?
Yeah, then I can just put the camera in,
exactly.
Like last time.
We
improvise.
We wing it.
Okay, also. Crunch time culture. You know, sometimes I thought about, why does the video game industry seem so fucked? And I have 2 answers to this. Number 1, it's a very new industry.
Mm-hmm.
New industries, when they emerge, the government usually sleeps and doesn't regulate. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, it's just the reality. And then as it becomes really, really big, the industry makes millions of money, the politics, they finally turn an eye and they start to regulate more. And I think we're at the point where this is already happening. I think in Belgium, EA Games just got a massive fine for loot boxes in FIFA.
Yes, exactly.
So loot boxes. So we're gonna see
Unions start to form.
Yeah, we're gonna see more unionization. We're gonna see more regulation. So I think that's one reason why it's so fucked. Another reason is I think our perception here is skewed a little because video game companies are, unlike normal companies like Mercedes, and the product that they create are insanely high involvement.
Yes.
So normal products like toilet paper are very low involvement products.
Yeah.
You don't give a fuck. 2-ply, 3-ply, whatever. That's what you
give a
think
big
about.
shit, but
Yeah,
no fuck.
But video games are such high involvement products.
Yeah.
Their fan bases are so passionate that we care for some reason about these companies, even though why?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We care in the same amount about, oh, Naughty Dog, they're cool. And Bethesda, they're bad.
Yeah,
And Ubisoft,
yeah.
they're like this. They become people.
Yeah.
And we're so highly involved with them. Like, Mercedes definitely has crunch as well. But
Yes.
we don't talk about that because even though cars are they're still by far not as high involvement as video games, but they're fairly high involvement to some
and
people.
they have big fans.
Yeah.
But it's never like, oh, the working conditions there are bad, therefore I'm not going to buy this car.
Or like, what do you know how crunch is like at toothpaste factory?
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what the crunch there is like because these are low involvement products.
Yeah.
So I think our perception there is skewed because we have such a magnifying glass on these companies. And we want to know what exactly is happening wrong at Naughty Dog. You know, I have to know how this product is made because I care so much about this.
Yeah.
It's normal, but it's also a bit skewed there. And I think it's good that it's not good or bad. It's natural that government will regulate more, and we just have to, I think, seek for the right regulations to be made. And I think unionization is a good thing for bigger companies. But you know, crunch. It's like Caesar said, video games companies, they do in a way exploit the passion of the young people. But you do get to work on the things that you love doing.
Yeah.
Both is true. Like, I also crunch in a way. I don't have a boss. I work 13 hours a day sometimes. Now, I've recently been rougher on myself. Like I say, when I edit, I make 8 hours a day, 9 to 5.
Stop.
And then I stop. It's difficult, but I do it sometimes. But like, I also crunch.
Yeah.
But it's because I love what I do and it's my passion.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
if you love what you do, you crunch. And
I just
I
want
don't
to
want
make
the government to regulate what I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make that argument. Like, when a band gets together to create a new album, do you think an album gets created by working 9 to 5?
Yeah.
No.
I think there is a difference between being self-employed, working for
Yes,
yourself,
yeah.
and you have a boss and then you are forced to crunch, right?
Yes,
I
true.
have a choice to crunch.
Yes.
I do that to myself.
That's a big
It's
difference.
different if someone came in and told me you have to crunch.
Yeah.
So it's a problem. I hope it will get better, but also know that our perception here is skewed because we are so highly involved in these products.
Yeah.
And reasonable and good government regulation, I think, here is the solution.
Would be the right choice.
Yeah.
True.
Because it's kind of crazy. Our mom owns a business, and when I tell her about crunch in video games, she's like, "What?" Like,
what?
because her business is so regulated. It's
Yeah.
like, an employee can work 1 minute more without it being marked down. And she panics when she thinks about it.
Yeah.
Unpaid overtime? She's like, oh my God.
Where can I get this?
No, she's like thinking, unpaid overtime, I'm going to be in trouble. I have to solve this with a fucking Betriebsrat. And and this is good in a way.
Yeah.
You need this regulation. And I just don't understand how some of these companies get away with this shit in countries that have good regulation sometimes.
Well, the United States don't.
True. Okay, next question.
Here, what do we have here? Oh, here. Question from Ahmad Abu Diab. Hey, Habibi. I'm so happy to be back into the Patreon and everything. I have a question about life. What motivates you to push yourself through college? Well, that's not a good question for you. What do you and your brother feel about the school isn't for me mentality?
I'm officially still in college.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
I'm officially still in college. I'm trying to get another semester off, but right now I'm a little bit overwhelmed with a lot of things in my life. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's just, I'm in college, but I'm not attending class right now. I'm trying to get more time off there without definitely stepping out because I do think it's important. School's not for me mentality. I believe in the German system. School, I think, until you're 18 should be absolutely no choice because it will, if you made school a choice, it would predominantly affect poor people because they're going to send their kids to work and not to school.
Yeah.
So I think school should absolutely be an obligation. It's to at least attempt to give certain people as the same options in life.
Yeah. It would be a
it would be very
loop.
very bad to make school a choice. Very bad.
Yeah.
It will disproportionately affect poor people, and that's not what we want. At least what I want. So school's not for me. It's a normal attitude to have, and it's a normal attitude to get over.
Yeah. So I personally think school's not for me attitude. Hard disagree, but I understand where it comes from. School can be overwhelming sometimes.
Everyone hates school when they're in school.
Of course. That's kind of
part of it.
Yeah, that's part of it. Exactly. If you
love school, something's wrong with you.
You didn't make the correct experience there. And but I also think that every person who if you really are honest to yourself and you think like maybe school is not for me mentality, there's always this kind of self-loathing involved. Like you're disappointed at yourself that school is not for you. Everyone who says school is not for me, there's a subconscious feeling of disappointment in themselves. And I think if you're honest to yourself, then you realize that school is not for me mentality actually is just a cop-out. Yeah. And who would want to do that? Is it still it seems to be still running? Yeah. Okay. Good. So whatever rough patch you're going through, I send you all the energy to overcome it.
Yes, you can do it.
It will be worth it. At least school. College, that's a different story.
Definitely finish school. Yeah. Definitely finish school.
Like I don't know how the school system is where you live, but finish the high school equivalent.
Yeah. For sure.
You will have so much more self-respect when you're done. It's worth it.
This was your fourth question, right?
Fifth.
3.
No. Fourth. Yeah.
Fourth. Number 8. This is cool, kind of the head.
Yeah.
Yesterday I cut this out and Rose Campbell. Hey, Ranton and Andi. Love the podcast and the channel. Your reviews are very funny and unique. Thank you. Been watching for a while and so I felt I should contribute by becoming a Patreon. It was very interesting having a dev talk about the production of the games. As I am a software tester, sadly not for video games, though maybe put in a word for me with Caesar, LOL. When I play some games, the score or music can make them really put you in the game world. So my question is, what game had your favorite music score that sets the atmosphere for the game? Mine was Skyrim, as the music makes you feel like you are in the world. Amazing question, Ross. Sorry, Ross Campbell. Ross. Yeah, great question. I think, music is an insanely important part of video games.
Yeah.
Truly, when I think of some games, like you're right, actually, Skyrim is one of the most memorable. Even the background music, I remember. Man, Skyrim is so crazy. How is Skyrim even a thing? It's ridiculous. But yeah, Skyrim music is amazing. What other music sticks out to me?
Fury.
Although I can't think of a particular song. I think I can think of one kind of. I do remember the vibe.
Then Metal Gear. Jeez, man, the music that gets composed, especially Metal Gear 3.
Doom Eternal. People don't like Doom Eternal music, right? They prefer the Doom 2016.
Okay, yeah, but still, Doom, like Mick Gordon. There are just like Silent Hill. Akira Yamaoka, he's one of the most well-respected music composers in the industry, and the music he did for Silent Hill, like
for me, also Red Dead Redemption 2, especially Stand Unshaken, amazing.
Honestly, there's so many. Devil May Cry. Oh my God, the music, the fight music is like such an essential.
Think of anything.
What else?
Halo.
80 guys singing Halo soundtrack in a bathroom. Then that video.
Yeah, music is important.
There are too many to count.
Yeah, but it's true. Music keeps you in the world. It's true, for sure.
And it's also one of the experiences that lingers the longest.
Yeah,
good music. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be cool if games would soon also add a sense of smell? Like 4D cinemas in China. I remember they had these weird cinemas in China when we were kids where there would be a smell as well. Yeah. That was weird as fuck. Fucking rotten eggs and shit. Yeah.
You sure that was intentional?
Probably just smelled.
Probably
just net. God. Probably next to like, I don't know. I can't think of anything else. We have stuff here too. Red Dead, Hitman, Star Wars.
Yeah, the Mortal Kombat soundtrack.
Mortal Kombat? Yeah, of course, Mortal Kombat. Yeah. Mortal Kombat, for sure. God of War. God of War is awesome. Yeah, music is truly...
Too many.
I kind of agree. Skyrim is the one that sticks out the most to me. Yeah. I have the entire Skyrim soundtrack on my Spotify. Andi, what's that?
Yeah. Old Tetris soundtrack. from Grubby Ape. You said where you stand on strategy games before, but if you had to pick a favorite, what would it be and why isn't it Age of Empires?
I think, Andi, you
Yeah.
and I, we both did not grow up with Age of Empires.
I fucking hate Age of Empires.
Yeah, but we both didn't just... It wasn't for us.
Yeah, we were in the age group.
Yeah,
We could
exactly.
have played it a lot.
It's exactly our generation.
Yeah,
The kind
but
of...
we both thought the game was actually just pure cringe.
I don't have any... You have... Okay, I can tell that you have negative connotation with the game.
Yeah.
I don't have negative. I just didn't play it much.
Uh,
I always just saw you try it and here and there.
well, okay. Negative is maybe a bit much. It's just the entire setting is just the most uninteresting, bland stuff for me that possible. Yeah.
For you, best strategy game, StarCraft.
StarCraft 2.
StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly.
It's so far above anything else that it
For
doesn't
me,
matter.
it's Company of Heroes 1.
Oh.
But you know,
Society of Friends.
Do you also have this thing with StarCraft where like sometimes you miss it, you install it, you play one round, and you're like,
and
okay,
then you're okay,
and then you're done again for a few months.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that's the point when you've reached that point, you've reached you have played enough of that game.
Yeah, exactly.
And sadly, I have that. Like Company of Heroes, I played that shit extensively for what's it, like 6 or 7 months, like a lot every day. And now I'm like, I play a game once every 2 months, and then I'm happy I played a match, and then I'm done again.
Yeah.
But I just wish there were games like Company of Heroes. Man, I could talk about the whole Iron Harvest drama that happened, where I got banned off their Discord because they're retards.
Wait,
There's this game Iron Harvest.
I've never heard of it. Is it
It's like a Company of Heroes kind of World War I with the mechs, remember? We talked about it a little bit. It's like World War I with mechs.
Yeah.
And it had so much potential, and I was really active in their community, and then they banned me for saying that they should improve certain things. They're real retards. They fucked up their game so hard. They released
the developers banned you,
Yeah,
or
they released their game for $50. That's basically full price with 3 1v1 maps. 3.
Okay.
That's sick in the head.
Okay.
And then I told them this is a joke. They released a demo before, like a beta that was open, and the beta had also these 3 maps. I was like, whoa, this is a huge beta. They give us 3 maps for the beta?
Yeah.
And then the game came out. I was like, oh, I can't wait to see all the maps.
Yeah. It's still 3
Those
maps.
were the 3 maps.
Yeah. Yikes.
And then I told them on the Discord, you can't be serious. This is a joke. And then I got banned. But I also got banned for other things. No, because they're a really toxic community. And then, like, when people insult me...
Who could have thought that abducting one of the developer's daughters could get you banned?
It's like, no, when people insult me...
Yeah.
I mean, it's just Discord. I am going to have fun back.
Yeah.
But then I get the shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, me.
So
That was your...
I'm done with my 5 questions.
Okay, then my last one.
Yeah.
Boink. Philip Hedlund Smith. Hey Ranton, found your channel last year, loved your humor, reviews, and have been a fan ever since. Thank you, Philip. I myself have also been studying Shaolin in China 3 times. Not in the temple though, that's no problem. So my question is regarding Shaolin. While you were... that's perfect. Before the science segment, I can talk a bit about Shaolin. While you were at the temple, did you still have to run up to Bodhidharma's cave for cardio? My master told me many times that he never wanted to see that cave again because of it. Much love from Denmark. PS shout out to Andi, as I'm also studying physics. Awesome. Thank you, Philip.
You're the amalgamation of us.
I know a very good Shaolin Kung Fu center close to Copenhagen, in a place called Frederiks, forgot what it is. And I gave a seminar there a few years back. And I know the master there and several students and several teachers. It's an amazing school. So did I have to run up to Bodhidharma, to the Damo cave? Yes. Usually once a week. In my last year, I did something kind of crazy. I ran up and down 3 times. And that was so ridiculous that I don't know how I did it. And when I visited the temple in 2017 with Sophia, just walking up to it once killed me. It killed me. And I ran up and down 3 times towards the end of my time there. And I don't know how in the fucking world I was able to do that. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because the stairs are what kills you. The stairs are hard. Yeah.
I did that.
We walked up there, yeah.
We walked up there, and
it's difficult.
I arrived up there a slime.
You just slime down the stairs after.
I had no more bones. I was
it's man, Shaolin. It's crazy, man. It's been
So yeah, you had to do that?
Yeah,
Or-
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah. You have to do that at least once a week, sometimes more. When the master sometimes is lazy, doesn't want to teach you, he just comes out, comes out like half asleep, says,
Pow.
just shows like an arm like this,
Yeah.
and means like you have to run now.
Oh god.
We had Damo, we had to run Damo or another place called TLOU2, which is everyone preferred TLOU2 because it has no steps and because it's just slightly uphill. It feels longer, like you're walking like on this road, long to this basketball court, but it was a lot nicer. Because you just don't have to run stairs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called TLOU2, and that was what everyone preferred. But yeah, that's
Good.
about the 10 Patreon questions. Thank you, everyone. And now science segment.
So, the thing is, over the last few months, quite a few possible science segments have come up, right? And I thought I've decided, then I've found something new. So I'm going to do 2 rapid fire ones and 1 bigger one.
Okay.
So, the rapid fire one. First, Anton, why cannot... Why...
I already fucked
Okay.
up. Why cannot?
Okay. Anton, why can't you divide by 0?
I actually know this, I think. I knew once the mathematical explanation.
Okay, here's the spoiler. You can. This statement of you can't divide by 0, really hot take here. It's actually wrong. So.
No, but I remember the mathematical equation was quite simple.
Yeah.
In the end, it's like 1 = 0 or some shit.
No.
Like,
No. You don't. Pass off. Listen up. Okay. Everyone, I don't have anything to write here, so you.
Yes. Can I very quickly?
Yeah.
X. Okay. Imagine this. X equals 1 divided by 0. Then times 0. Then you have 0 = 1.
What? No, then you have x equals 1.
No, because you divided x by 0. You multiplied x with 0. You have x, x equals 1 divided by 0 times 0. Then it's 1 equals 0.
Okay.
Is that not correct?
Well, we'll get to it. You will maybe understand later why. So here's the thing. I don't have anything to write here, so I'm going to do this comprehensively. Maybe you can write along to if you don't understand it or re-listen. So, picture the simple function 1 over x. 1 durch x. Okay? Very simple function. Now, let's put in some numbers. X equals 10. So, it's 1 divided by 10. That is 0.1. Okay. Let's put in 5. So, it's 1 divided by 5, 0.2. That's a little bit bigger. Then you put in x equals 1, so you have 1 divided by 1 equals 1. You put in a half, right? So if you imagine the coordinate system, we're getting closer to the coordinate Ursprung. The
0.
Yeah, the origin, sorry. So you put in 1 divided by a half, you get 2. You put in 1 divided by 0.1, you get 10. And you realize that the smaller the number is that you put into the denominator, the bigger your result. And if you get smaller and smaller, right, you divide by smaller and smaller numbers, your result will get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Divide by 0, it's infinite.
So, and then at some point you get ever closer to 0 and your result gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you reach 0 and your result reaches infinity. So, where's the problem, right? Divide by 0 is equal to infinity. Well, nicht so schnell. Now, let's approach from the other side. You put in 1 divided by minus 1 is minus 1. 1 divided by minus a half is minus 2. So you realize the numbers get smaller and smaller. And now, you put in like smaller and smaller numbers into the denominator, but negatives, and then your result will get huge negative numbers.
What if it's minus 1?
So if you...
Minus 0? I mean, what the fuck? So then it's like... I imagine on a coordinate system, it's like this.
Yeah, exactly, right? And if you approach from the negative side, the function throws out values that are smaller and smaller, right?
Like this, right?
Huge negative numbers. And now you realize the problem. If you approach from the negative side, dividing by 0 actually gives you minus infinity.
But that's also what the graph... I only know this in German.
Ja.
F von x ist gleich 1 durch x.
Ja.
Sieht ja auch so aus.
Exactly.
Das ist ja diese Funktion.
Yeah, it looks like that, right? But you realize the problem now. Dividing by, also 1 divided by 0 from one direction equals plus infinity, and 1 divided by 0 from the other direction equals minus infinity. We have a problem here. You have an expression that is undefined. And
meaning there are two y values for the same x value?
Exactly. Yeah. And that is the main problem with dividing by 0. It's not like there's some universal law that prevents you from, like, dividing by 0 is always portrayed as something like it breaks the universe.
Breaks the matrix.
It's
not even the matrix divide by 0.
It's not that it does anything specific. It's just the problem with dividing by 0 is that if you just write 1 divided by 0, it's an undefined statement. You don't know anything. You don't know from which direction to approach it. And the thing is, if you provide from which direction you actually approach.
But then every time you write 0, it is implied that it's plus 0.
No.
If it's minus 0, you have to write minus 0.
The mathematical expression minus 0 doesn't exist.
But didn't we say like minus? But we were talking about minus 0. We're talking about the negative 0, which is, wouldn't that be called minus 0?
No.
We always put x like minus 10, minus 5, and then minus 0. And then it's kind of the negative 0.
No, there's no such thing. Once you reach 0, it's the same point.
Yeah.
There's no way of marking from which direction you have actually approached.
Yeah.
And in physics, we do that all the time, right? Physicists use division by 0 all the fucking time. So the notion that you cannot divide by 0, it's very naive, because if you provide this information, if you provide from where you actually go to 0, it's absolutely fine.
But so just that you know, is it a positive or a negative infinity?
Yes.
Right, that's what you need to know.
Well, I mean, the equations can get quite complicated. You can have that in the exponent, for example. You can have imaginary numbers with it. It gets a little more complicated than just plus or minus infinity. You can get a lot more different values out of divisions by 0 and stuff.
But was my equation in the beginning not correct? Like, this is, I think, how in school they show that you can't divide by 0.
And this is the naive approach, because this is just basically using 0 as a symbol, right? And that doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
To really have 0 make sense, you always have to like approach it. Okay, that is the main kicker here from this small little section.
Interesting. That is fascinating.
Yeah. So when school restarts or you're in the next school Zoom meeting, you can smart ass your way.
You want to impress your math teacher, be like, you can actually divide by 0, just have to know if you're approaching it from the positive side or the negative side. That's cool.
Yeah. And the expression we physicists use to do that is always the lim, standing for limit. Mm-hmm. And then below the limit, you always say from which direction you approach. Mm-hmm. Okay, that was the first.
Is lim not limus?
It's Latin is limus, but the Americans say limit.
Ah, okay. Because
or in English,
lim, I remember doing that, like approaching.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, next up. Maybe you've heard about it, but a few weeks back, the Nobel Prizes were awarded. And 2 stood out to me specifically, physics and chemistry. Now, I personally think that the impact of the chemistry one is monumental. Like the chemistry Nobel Prize awarded something that will shape our futures and the future of every human being on this planet fundamentally.
What happened?
The only problem is I don't get it. I cannot do a full science segment on it because I don't understand it. Okay. I can only give you a really quick rundown of what it is about. And if you're really smart, or if you're a biologist or a chemist, maybe you get it. I don't. What I'm going to talk about more is the Physics Nobel Prize, which is also excellent topic, but it's not as world-shaking as the chemistry one, because the Chemistry Nobel Prize...
Put your mic down a little bit.
Yeah. The Chemistry Nobel Prize went to 2 groups of researchers that were...
Filming?
Yeah, that discovered, I should say, the genetic scissors of CRISPR-Cas9. What does that mean?
DNA thing.
Exactly. So, since many years, we know that organic or living things have their genetic code in their DNA. Right? The DNA is basically the blueprint of themselves. And this idea is probably as old as this discovery itself, that what if we could actually manipulate this DNA, right? Change stuff in it. Like DNA is made out of genes. Genes are just small sections that are responsible for something in the organism. And what if we could remove them or put in something else, all right? This idea of actually manipulating the blueprint, manipulating a thing on one of the most fundamental levels possible. And that was, up until now, a horrendous and at times impossible task. That's also why it was so difficult to get vaccines to diseases, or to actually why, for example, AIDS has not been cured for I don't know how long.
But I think AIDS is very manageable. Like people don't die of AIDS.
It's now manageable.
If they get the medication,
yes.
They can live with it.
Yeah, they can live with it, but it's still incurable.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons is because we understand genomes so well, but there was no way to actually work with them. It was so frustrating. It was a barrier that chemists and biologists could never cross, like the light speed barrier for physicists. It was impossible. And with the discovery of CRISPR-Cas, you can actually manipulate genes on a fucking molecular level. Like you can pick out the atom you want to cut, open the DNA strand, and insert your own.
Why has this not been in the news everywhere?
Because it's so hard to understand. Like, it has been in the news everywhere. You remember a year ago, there was this Chinese doctor who actually cured 2 children of AIDS, but he cured 2 embryos of AIDS. And he did that by actually genetically engineering it. It was super controversial.
And he had to, there was something.
He's now off
political.
The grid. Yeah. So you see the impact this technology can have, right? And so the Nobel Prize Committee, it's a big committee and their decisions carry some weight, but I think this is a good statement for that advancements in science itself is more or less neutral, and the technology that they've awarded the Nobel Prize here to I think it's going to be miraculous. Sorry to use so much superlatives, yeah, but what this allows will be unfathomable. Like genetic manipulation has never been so easy and so efficient, and it was never possible to do it on such a big scale. Guys, you will be amazed for what's to come in the next few years.
That's insane.
Yeah. I would love to explain how it works, but I don't get it. So sorry. My wife, who was a biologist, she tried to explain it to me, and it ended with me forgetting how to eat. So, yeah. I will stick to physics, which is why I'm going to tell you now what the Physics Nobel Prize was about. It was given one half to Roger Penrose, who is a theorist. Yeah, a theorist.
Physicist.
Yeah. He proved that the formation of a black hole is not just theoretical. Like back in the day, Penrose published a paper, I think it was 50 or so years ago. People were like, yeah, Einstein's equations are cool and all, but once you have like too much mass in one point, you get a lot of infinities, and physicists.
It's not a practical reality.
Yeah, it's like these you get a lot of division by 0, and that's usually a sign that something in the
formula
theory is maybe it's just not applicable there. Right? They thought like, okay, yeah, Einstein's equations were good, but once the mass density gets too high, you get too much energy.
Like all formulas aren't applicable.
Yeah, and then, okay, maybe this model then just breaks down there. We cannot apply it. Okay. And Penrose actually theoretically, it sounds so weak, but no, he actually fundamentally showed that that Einstein's equations still make sense, even if the mass density gets high enough. Oh no, the camera just turned off.
From battery? Probably from battery.
I don't know.
If I want, I can just maybe put this.
Yeah.
So that we'll both be in the image.
Mm-hmm. Is that even possible?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So what he showed was...
As always, we are improvising here at the Ranton Podcast.
Was that there's actually... It's not just a quirk of the equations themselves, but it's actually a physical reality. Mass does collapse into a singularity, forms a black hole. He basically proved it. The theory, the fundamentals of it. And just up until recently, that was everyone just believed it. But until recently, we had the black hole picture, right?
Yeah,
remember?
Yeah.
That was the first time where we actually saw one. So now that was only logical to give him the Nobel Prize.
One question. Of course, I'm a fucking amateur with all this stuff. How can we see a black hole? It doesn't emit light.
Yes, yeah, it itself doesn't, but it's
everything around it, and then we see a lack of light.
It's very heavy, so it attracts a lot of stuff, and it attracts them very, very strongly. So the stuff that's attracted gets accelerated to be very fast, and fast-moving stuff heat up, and if it heats up, it glows. So around the black hole, you have this disk of matter that's being pulled in, and that it gets so fast.
Why does it move a disk around the black hole? Why doesn't it go inside the black hole? Sometimes I wonder why are disks formed sometimes around something.
Why it's a disk?
Why does why does it move like this? Why does it go in it?
Well, if it rotates. Oh, okay. Well, that's because I think don't 100% sure here, but if you have a sphere of gas and you start rotating that sphere, it will automatically go into a disk form because the velocities at the equator are
I got it.
You understand?
Yeah.
So I think the reason why it's forming
when you
disks,
take slime on a record speaker and you turn it, it will become flat.
It will flatten out and instead move to the sides. And I think the reason why that happens with black holes is because black holes are spinning themselves. And so the momentum.
Isn't it dangerous that we could see it? Like, isn't that fact alone the fact that it's so close that we can see it?
Well,
I know that they didn't take a picture of the sky.
Yeah,
I know,
it's not very close.
But the fact that we can see it, isn't that still kind of close for that much mass to be visible to us?
No. Black holes are a lot more common than.
Are black holes getting more and more like research? Like we find out more and more about them.
Yeah. Although most, I would say, it's a controversial statement here, but I would say most of the fundamentals are well understood, and it's now only.
Working out the details?
Yeah, working out the details. There are still some unpleasant paradoxes with black holes.
Like when you get too close, what happens to, isn't it?
No, but the information paradox. So when something falls into a black hole, it's gone, right? There's no way to escape it. But black holes actually get smaller over time. They lose some of their...
Entropy? Was that the word? We had the entropy discussion last time.
No, they evaporate. Right? They actually give off more energy than falls into them.
What happened to the stuff that was sucked in?
So, it's gone. At the end of the day...
Masseerhaltungssatz.
Well, you wish.
What do you call it in English?
The energy conservation?
Ah, yeah.
No, you wish. Yeah. No. It's fun. That's the problem. It's not conserved, right? They evaporate over time.
It evaporates into what?
Into radiation, into random radiation. And the information of whatever you threw into the black hole is gone, and that's bad. That's fundamentally there's something not conserved here in this universe that we thought should be conserved.
That's fucked up.
And has been no solution to this problem yet.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
That was the first part.
I think our discussion about the marbles last time was
awesome, right?
Super interesting.
Yeah. That was half of the Nobel Prize, and if it was just a Nobel Prize for a theorist, I would have been kind of sour here. But the committee knows this, and therefore they've also awarded the other half to two groups that have researched a specific black hole, which carries sentimental significance, I would say, because it's the one at the center of our galaxy. And the physics Nobel Prizes that I love most are the ones that reward technical or technology
advancement.
Interesting
the fact that the Nobel Prize kind of awards prizes for these things that have, on the first sight, very little value to us. I would think that the Physics Nobel Prize is going to award something energy research or new forms of something that has value to us, because like astrology in a way is kind of
Did you just say astrology?
Whatever the fuck it's called. Astronomy.
Astrology
is the one with the star signs, right?
Yeah.
No, but aren't these two things kind of the same value for us right now? The same use?
Well,
What mass of black hole has the same use for us?
That's what I mean. Why I mostly like Nobel prizes that reward technological advancement. Because technological advancement is good for all of us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, one thing that I didn't say last time. So I worked on a particle accelerator, right? And you might say, dude, Andi, why are you wasting our tax money?
You explained that last time, why this technology is important. You find this in our products as well.
Why is a particle accelerator research important? Well, excuse me, but you all have a particle accelerator in your home. Yeah? It's called a microwave. So don't give me that shit. Okay, so the second half of the Nobel Prize was awarded to two groups, and they actually proved that there was a supermassive black hole in the center of our galaxy.
In the Milky Way.
In the Milky Way, yeah. And this was...
The Milky Way also spins, no?
Yeah, it's also a disk, right? It has these spiral arms. And you've noticed that the center is very bright in all pictures. Like, by the way, all Milky Way pictures are artist impressions because there's no way for us to actually...
Of course not.
Yeah.
There's no guy out there...
Yeah. But all galaxies, or most galaxies, have a very bright center. And why is it bright? Because there are a lot of stars there. And so we know there are a lot of stars, but we actually don't know what's in the center. And these two groups have actually showed that there's a very massive object there.
Why don't these stars get sucked into the center and destroyed?
Well,
it's so there's so much mass there.
Yes.
They get sucked into the black hole.
I mean, they are attracted to it, but see this. The sun is very massive compared to the Earth. Why is the Earth not falling into the sun? Because it's rotating. And that's what most objects in the universe do. They're not in a direct trajectory towards it. If they just miss the black hole slightly, they will be put on a elliptical orbit, right? Yeah. And that's what actually
most trajectory.
Yeah, that's what actually most objects around this in this region do. They have these very, very sharp elliptical orbits, and these teams have analyzed these orbits of hundreds of stars, and they're all orbiting around one dark spot where there's actually nothing there, but there's no other explanation. Like, there's a very dark spot that everything in the center is orbiting around. Amazing. It has to be something supermassive, and the technologies they created or invented just to be able to see it, because seeing through the Milky Way is fucking hard. There's a lot of dust and other stars and gunk in the way. So that was really technologically top tier. Well deserved. Well deserved.
Awesome.
Good.
And now the big science segment, or was...
No, that was... yeah.
Okay,
so the two rapid fire ones were...
Chemistry and...
Why can't you divide by zero? And chemistry. And the big one was the physics one. Yeah, we made it.
Think of science as always... The stars, man. The stars, man. What does it mean?
I mean, if you're a long-time watcher of the podcast, you know that I'm personally not that interested in astronomy. That's a field of physics that I'm not that interested in. But I cannot deny its significance and its popularity. Like, it's so fascinating to everyone.
Fascinates us to think where we at.
Yeah.
Okay, we are at 2 hours and... 2.5?
2
hours and 38 minutes.
38.
38,
okay.
yeah. I think that's a good a spot as any to kind of wrap it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. Like I said before, I really apologize if content is not coming out at a rate that you hope for. Trust me, it's not coming out at a rate that I hope for. But it is what it is.
I really hope this is not the last podcast.
Yeah, it's probably definitely not. But like I said before, I do worry about these things that I've talked about before. I do really sincerely worry about them, and I don't know what the solution is to them. I struggle with kind of finding my place in this influencer space.
Yeah.
Don't quite... Like, it's the same with like just posting on Instagram. It's like...
You have funny posts.
No, like just posting pictures on Instagram. I'm not the kind of person who takes pictures a lot of myself. And then Sophia kind of has to convince me a few weeks, like, just put on a jacket and let's just go outside and I take a picture of you. And I'm kind of one of those small, big creators. Mm-hmm. Like, if you look at my Twitter, I have no idea how people grow their Twitter accounts. I don't know how that works. I have 1 million subscribers on YouTube. I have 50,000 followers on Instagram, and I have like 25,000 followers on Twitter. I don't know how people grow their Twitter accounts. I don't know how they do it.
Maybe they tweet a lot, or
I mean, I tweet a fair amount, and I feel like Twitter is basically just a shit posting place where you just say dumb shit.
Yeah.
But you can follow me on Twitter. I don't know. I'm trying to find my place, like everyone else is, and yeah. I'm thinking about my next video. I never know.
Any teasers for your next video?
I really want to do more of the kind of stuff that I did with the Mortal Kombat video, but there's just nothing else where that works. But yeah, I'm really proud of that one.
Go watch it.
Just know that when I make a video, it's not just about, unless it's just a Shaolin, like kind of a story time video. Not really story time. I still want to teach something about Shaolin, but unless it's something like that, creative vision behind a video is kind of important. I need there to be a visual concept that I can explore that is fun for me. I cannot create conveyor belt content. I'm sorry, I can't do it.
Good. Don't.
Yeah.
Okay, before we get too gloomy here, everyone, thank you so much for hanging around and for your patience with the podcast. I'm sure this one was up to your expectations.
More than almost 3 hours. I mean,
yeah.
That's something.
If these science segments piqued your interest, or if you just think I'm awesome,
check out Andi's stream. For sure.
I hope you do.
Check out Andi's stream. He's streaming a lot of Dark Souls and Bloodborne, yeah?
Yeah, mostly, yeah. At the moment, doing a gun-only Bloodborne run. Almost done.
Gun only?
Yeah, it's torture, man.
Yeah, I also hop in sometimes, so definitely go check out Andi's streams. It's really chill, it's really fun. And he has a cool community, that's for sure.
Yeah.
He has a cool community. I have a community full of assholes.
Wow.
Says more about me than about the community.
True.
No,
all right.
I love you all, guys, and appreciate the support as always. Take good care of yourself. Be safe during these times.
Yes.
And catch you on the flippity flop.
Goodbye.